MC. Good morning, boys and girls. I'm your substitute teacher, Mr. Tinman. And our first assignment today is what you want to be when you grow up. So we're going to go around the room. You over there with the Afro puffs. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I'm thinking about a hairstylist or like a designer.
Those are some pretty good professions. And you over there in the Marlins jersey, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a baseball player.
Well, that's a pretty awesome profession as well. And you over there sitting there with the tiara. What would you like to be when you grow up?
I want to be a DJ.
Oh, that's a pretty crafty profession. And you, back there with the buzzsaw dreads, what would you like to be when you grow up?
I want to be a motherfucking soldier. You better ask somebody.
MyT.
Evening, and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. I am your host, the one and only Talent Tomar Taylor, being joined with my homeboy KJ. Say what's up to the people real quick, KJ.
Yo, what it do?
It is November 13th. We still down here in sunny South Florida. Well, it ain't too sunny today. It's kind of raining, but you know what? Weather's still nice. It's still like 73 degrees around here. Well, I heard they're already getting like 25 degrees in Georgia. In Atlanta, that is. Good luck to you, dirty birds. You finally got a W.
Oh, we on that ass later, man.
Oh, listen.
I got something for them later.
It may be cold and hot
I got
Atlanta,
something for them.
but they heated it up on the football field this week. We're going to talk about that. And apparently, Kaepernick is about to get a workout. We got some roaring animals. Basically, we got upsets all over the place. But you know what I say, regardless of the time.
Take that.
And regardless of the weather. It's always a good time to talk some sports. Let's start talking MyT Sports.
One of these days, I'm gonna have the energy to do all of that you just did. One of these days.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? Back at it like a sports fanatic. Woo! I'm sweating already, and we ain't even started the show.
Jesus, take a sip. Take
So-
another sip.
We're gonna get right into it because the football world was shocked.
Shocked. I don't
And
know
we
what
didn't
they
even
was
talk
shocked
about the
about.
professionals yet. So
I don't know what they was shocked about. I've been telling motherfuckers since September what the deal is.
in the college rankings, tell them what the deal is.
Oh, come on,
LSU
man.
Tigers.
Come on, man.
They went, and I'm talking about. Like, listen, the Tigers aren't no joke. The Tigers aren't any pushovers. Like, they come in. They come into a stadium. They come into a building, making a certain kind of noise that one would expect of a fierce tiger to make, right? And they went into the home of Alabama, into the home of Nick Saban, into the home of Mr. Tide.
Sure did.
And they pulled the surf in. There was no water on the beach. It must have been a low tide because next thing you know, how many points did they get dropped on their head?
Hey, man, they got 46 dropped on their heads.
46.
46 of them things.
dropped on their head by the
46
LSU
of them
Tigers.
things.
So,
On some Diddy Take That joint right there.
if you haven't realized it by now, we talking about LSU Tigers in Alabama. Listen, you're the LSU fan here. Like, listen, I'm the eccentric
not
one.
even a fan. It's just
I'm the eccentric one here. Like, you're the LSU fan. You're the one that since the day I met you, you was talking about, yo, LSU could take Alabama. Last week on the show, you were like, yo, LSU can take Bama. Now,
sure was.
Saturday is past.
Sure was.
And listen, I don't know what Alabama must have had underneath their skirt, but LSU took him out. They took him out for a nice little date. You know what I mean? Bought him some red wine, got him all saucy, then left them on their front yard throwing up with their hair pinned back.
Straight up. Straight up.
Sick. like.
What the
Sick.
What the fuck? Straight
and
up.
Now, LSU, the new power rankings come out. LSU sitting at the top of the food chain, El Chapo numero uno.
We already knew that was happening. After a win like that, had they been anything other than one, fuck that whole rankings.
And
Fuck everything about it.
Alabama, not even in the playoffs, right?
Good.
Right now.
Good.
Which they shouldn't
Good.
be.
They should not be. Had
Yeah.
they been at 4, problem. Big problem. Let that ranking show had finished last night and I saw Alabama 4. Oh my God, I'm breaking my TV. Straight up. Whatever that
The black.
what you need. The black thing over there? Oh, got you.
No, the canister. The canister.
Yeah, got you.
You
got
keep
you.
passing over it. You keep passing on the canister.
Oh shit.
The little plastic. There you go. There you go.
Here we go.
Shake, shake,
Here
shake.
we go. Yep. But nah, what's it called, man? I would have been very, very upset if I saw Alabama at 4. I mean, you at home, a game like that, you let a team come up in there, 46 points. I mean, halftime it was 33-13. Like, what the hell? 33 points at halftime? No. Nah, not at all. Ain't no top 4 team need to be up there when you letting 33 points go by at home. But credit to them. Credit to them because they came out, they fought. They didn't go out like no bitches. They didn't go out like bitches. They fought. They made it a game. And I ain't gonna lie, there was definitely a point where I was like, LSU, y'all wanna
Keep up the pace.
y'all wanna
keep your foot on the throat.
y'all wanna
not let up.
y'all
Put
wanna
bit of
score a little
cushion in
bit.
there.
Let's go get a little tight. Let's go get a little tight.
So we now see twice now, or I shouldn't say twice now. Now we've seen a third year of an example. When we alluded to this last week, right? We talked about this last week when we talked about how good Jalen Hurst is looking when he's coached up.
I don't want to do that to Tua like that. Not off that game. And I'll tell you why.
Well,
Because no, real talk. The stigma on Tua has been, big games. He doesn't show up. Now, granted, he had his moments where I'm like, all right, Tua, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? You're on the goal line. No one's touching you. You fumbled the ball. Yeah, he had to get his little, do a little thing. You know what I'm saying?
In case it needs to stay off camera.
Off camera. No, you definitely made sure that the people on the live saw you. Shout out to everybody watching on the live. You know the vibes. But anything, yeah, like I was saying, Tua fumbled the ball. Nobody's touching him, anything like that. So that was kind of wild. He had the ugly pick later on, right before halftime, whatever. He's running for his life. Offensive line did not help him at all. But that LSU front line is a fucking beast. They're fucking beast. But credit to Tua. Like I said, just like the squad, they didn't go out like bitches. He didn't go out like bitches. And I think he led the charge for everything. Like they could have easily just lied down and quit. And it could have easily been one of those Clemson-Alabama games last year where he just didn't show up. It could have been what it was looking like in the SEC championship game against Georgia, where he ended up just leaving the game because he was that banged up. I mean, shoot, at the end of the game, my man can barely walk. I felt bad for man. When they showed him limping like that at the end of the game, I'm like, yo, where's that man's teammate? Somebody come help this man walk off the goddamn field, bro.
So now I'm mad that I did delete the flashback drop off of here because you're also helping
because I was impressed. I was impressed by Tua.
Remember we talked about this last week that in a close victory he can look impressive. In a close victory, it could still look good for Bama because what did we say? the quarterback will be coming back unhealthy. So now, what does that? So if you're Tua, if you're Alabama, what are you telling yourselves?
Well, our projected number 1 overall pick quarterback was hurt. I mean, damn near couldn't even walk off the field, and it took Burrow going for damn near 400, 300, and 3 passing touchdowns himself. The running back for over 100, 3 touchdowns, and catching out the backfield as well for another touchdown. It took all of LSU to still beat Bama, but I mean, hey, Bama's a great team, and I don't want to hear this talk about, Bama fell off because they lost to LSU. Like, yo, LSU's a fucking juggernaut this year, man.
So for Alabama, their bottom shouldn't have fallen out either. Like, they should be there's a ray of hope in there. Like, the sun is gonna come out tomorrow for them, right?
They're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine because
they're gonna be like, okay, we're not healthy. Look what our offensive line did. The quarterback was still on. Like,
he should.
There's
Honest,
some
real
good
talk.
Positives are gonna come away from that.
Real talk.
But
I still think he shouldn't have even been playing. When I found out that he was even gonna play, I'm like, oh my god, because I just have a problem. You had mid-season surgery on your ankle, man. You don't have mid-season surgery and think you're gonna come back.
When did he have surgery?
All I know is the timeline was 3 weeks.
Was 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
Like, come on, man. Mid-season surgery on the ankle, and you think you're coming back from 3 weeks against that?
You ever had surgery?
Yes, sir.
So you know.
Not fun.
Yeah,
Not fun.
And I've come back from recovery from a surgery, and not for nothing, because I've been in an environment where as you're trying to recover, right, and you're trying to think what's good for you, you also have people trying to push you in what's good for the service. Like I have a Tio Samuel. I don't know how you say Sam in Spanish, but I have a Tio Samuel.
Don't worry, I'm sure some people out here gonna help me out over here.
I have a Tio Samuel.
Shout out to the live once again.
And yeah, he definitely pushed me to start running back early. And a surgery that I had in May, I was trying to run fully back in July, and next thing you know, he kept us out of place.
What you thought you was, Adrian Peterson?
Listen, I thought Adrian Peterson wasn't even all day like that. You understand? We're talking about, this is 2002. Like Adrian Peterson was still looking up to me as a role model at that time.
Shit. Damn. AP, you didn't hear that, man. That wasn't me who said that. They said you was out here somebody's son.
Nah, I ain't say he was. I'm saying he was looking up to me.
I ain't gonna lie, it sound like you son, my man.
But so yeah, him coming back after 3 weeks, he's not healthy, and not for nothing, for a guy that needs every ounce of his mobility
against that defense.
Not just that defense, for his career.
Exactly. We still talk.
For his career.
Exactly. We talking as if like he's already in the pros. He's still like a junior right now, man.
You're talking as if the defenses are gonna get easier than LSU as he continues with this bad ankle.
What you
so
think?
You come back early now. This just affects you as you go on. Now you get that little hitch in there this whole entire time. Now you're gonna need a second surgery to try to clean up whatever the hell went wrong this time.
Man.
And now Tunga got a tongue twister. It's just a tongue twister on the bench.
I mean, shit. What do you think life's gonna be when Jadeveon Clowney is running after that ass?
Exactly.
You better just hurry up and take a seat.
They got Aaron Donald, the
come on, man.
Over there playing wax off
man.
with
If you see,
defenders.
listen, okay. You see Aaron Donald coming your way, just throw the white flag. Forget about it. It's over. That's a scary sight, man. I feel bad for all them quarterbacks.
Baltimore's defense that's used to chasing around Lamar, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
I mean, we saw how Earl Thomas lit up Mason Rudolph. Had my man's knocked out in midair.
So
you better check yourself out here.
So they're not gonna get easier for him. The defense is gonna help. So that's not a good look for him.
Nope.
But let's move over college for right now. Because talking about looking, right? There were some real shockers this week to me. Right?
What I told you last week. What I told you in the picks. Every week, you got to have at least one game that makes absolutely no sense. No sense. Now, granted, there were 3 games that happened last week that made no sense. Actually, I want to say 2.5 because one of those games I can kind of understand because that damn defense can't stop worth a damn. Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs. That bum-ass defense ruined Patrick Mahomes' comeback, but we'll get to them niggas.
We will get to them. Like I said, there are a couple of major ones, but you know me, right? I'm a homer. Like I'm a bit of a homer.
Oh, we
when
going straight to it. Oh Lord. Oh Lord, we going straight to these Giants and these Jets. Going straight to this game. I got some shit to say about this shit right here.
So after Sunday night's game, right? I took a stroll outside. I was home. I took a stroll outside, and I looked into the sky, and I saw everything I needed to know about the day. There was a goddamn full moon outside. That is the only way possible. Like, you understand, Mercury is in retrograde. It's all out of whack. And the
Jets-
Miami Dolphins come away with their second victory.
But it was Brian Hoyer.
Over Indiana. It's still over
Brian
Indiana.
Hoyer.
It's still over Indiana.
Brian Hoyer.
Yeah.
Let me not do
See,
that because
okay.
Brian Hoyer almost beat my team.
Not for nothing.
So
See, when you say Brian Hoyer, I get it. But when you say the team that Indiana was putting around Andrew Luck, I expect them to not be beat. Listen, coming from a team that lost to the Dolphins, I do not expect the Pacers, the Colts, to lose.
I'ma say
it is frustrating.
I got you right here, man. I got you. It's not equivalent at all, but I got a group of homies. We play football in the mornings on Sunday. Shout out to my guys. Shout out to Chad. Shout out to Cody. All y'all niggas.
Oh, I got you.
Yup.
Who else?
Oh, we got Keyshawn. All of them. Y'all know who y'all are. Y'all watching. Y'all listening right now and everything. So there's something to be said when you lining up your 7-on-7, your 8-on-8, and you know you got you a quarterback back there who can get you to rock. You're like, all right, he got an arm. I'm gonna go hard running these routes, right? I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna block. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna go hard because there's a chance I could get the ball. But then you could be on that other squad where you're like, damn, this is our quarterback today? Man, maybe I'm not gonna run this route as hard. Maybe I'm not going, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because that quarterback, that shit matters, man. That shit matters. And I'm telling you, it's not like Jacoby Brissett is top 10, you know what I'm saying? But obviously he had a couple games where he was out here getting 3 touchdowns, four touchdowns, you know what I'm saying?
He's a good backup. He's been in the league for a while.
I don't even want to call Jacoby a backup. Jacoby solidified himself as a starter.
But he was a good backup for these years. He's been in the system for a while. He understands it. He was made to step into this role for the Colts.
Mm-hmm. I just definitely feel like them boys, Ty and all them guys over there.
Blue Mountain State. If you guys have never seen Blue Mountain State, I recommend every single person to go watch the show Blue Mountain.
If you haven't, you are lame, to be honest.
It's a show. It's a season. It was like 2 or 3 seasons long, but you will not be disappointed. And this is well before you even get to the pocket pussy. There goes a little nugget for you. So the Miami Dolphins.
I ain't gonna lie, they're playing some ball now.
Beat the Indianapolis Colts. Well,
they're playing some inspired
you have to
football.
remember. Don't put
Hot take.
Lost some of those games because they literally shot themselves in their own foot. Their coach has pulled out players that were doing good. The coach has traded away players that were productive. Now what you're gonna do? You can't get rid of anybody else. You can't bench anybody else. There's only so much you can fully tank without everybody looking at you like, come on. I'm sorry. There's only so much of this losing shit that we can do.
I got the hot take right now. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Y'all ready for this? All y'all ready for this? The Miami Dolphins are going to the playoffs next year. I'm calling it right now. They're going to the playoffs next year. I'm calling it right now. When the Dolphins make the playoffs next year, holla at me.
Smoke weed every day.
Damn! Word! Damn!
You know what? I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Commercial break.
I'm sorry. Because you know what? because Because you know what? I shouldn't talk bad. I shouldn't talk that bad about potheads, right? We're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back. He just had a little rule. It beats like that. Your Mighty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Alan Tomar Taylor. You're still listening right here on the MyTSports.net.
Let me put you on the game. Being taken advantage of isn't a game and it needs to stop. Aren't you tired of being ripped off by those other guys? Then, head to Multivest Video Games and get the value you deserve on your games and gaming products. Games cost money, and you shouldn't feel like you're just giving them away. So why continuously buy a membership for prices and deals that you should be getting anyway? Multivest Games not only has fair pricing and great trading deals, Multivest has a wide variety of games in all next-gen systems in the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One series, as well as all your favorite old-school titles and systems, starting as early as Atari Nintendo to as current as PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. And yes, that does include all of the PlayStations, Nintendo systems, and Xboxes in between. They've been family-owned and operated for over 10 years, just off of the intersection of 183rd and 7th Avenue in the Nurses Registry Plaza. That's directly located at 830 Northwest 183rd Street, Miami Gardens, Florida 33169. That's conveniently just 5 minutes from Sun Life Stadium, $7.90 the ticket, and oh no, let's not forget Tootsie's Adult Entertainment Center. Multi-Vest Games, where you save more so you can play more.
And we are back to the Mighty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Tyler Domar Taylor. If you are listening, that means you are listening live, which I always appreciate the live listeners. The live listeners is always so much better, right?
Word.
One of few places to listen live. The regular spot, MyTSports.net. That's MyTSports.net. If you're also listening live right now, that means you're probably catching it on KG's Instagrams. That means you can also see us as well.
We
so
here,
shout out
baby.
to the people that are listening, that are watching live as well. We got a new calling line I'm gonna try out. So you guys let me know how this works. If you guys want to call into the show, the number is 954-780-6206.
Say it loud.
Again, 954-780-6206. You probably can't see that. It's probably too small. But
Yo, for y'all on the IG live, you got it right there. Boom. That's the number.
But we're trying out
Hit that joint.
a new calling line. We're gonna see how that works. We're gonna incorporate a couple of these callers, but we're gonna move right on to the show.
Ain't nobody calling us. They don't love us like that.
And it's all right. Listen, they'll
Fake
call
fucks.
us. They'll call us when we start talking bad about their team, even in the
Facts. We getting on everybody's team.
We're not done here. We ain't done with the beginning of the show because, once again, I said this whole entire beginning of the show has one theme and one theme only.
Straight up.
Because a bunch of shockers keep happening, and one of them almost gave me trauma, right? Because you picked against my team, but what would I look like? What would I look like if I sat here on the podcast and in a game that looks fairly even, that I don't allow my emotions to overcome me and pick my...
Those damn Jets. Oh shit, a ghost!
To climb up that beanstalk, steal that golden harp, come back down and start chopping it down and watch that giant fall to the ground and come away with a W. Listen, we own the city. I know you ain't in Brooklyn, but you understand, Jets, we go hard. And once again, after they won, I had to step outside and I realized there's a reason why there was a full moon out there. Because how the hell did the Jets and the Miami Dolphins end up winning a game in the same day? It not only was a full moon, this is how I knew Mercury's in retrograde was about to come up. There's only one way some shit like this can, if you understand, this is one of those phenoms and natural occurrences that you talk about. You understand, this only happens once every 1,500 years. You understand? This is the kind of shit that mythical movies are made off of. Like,
You keep making fun of them Dolphins. Trust me, I ain't no Dolphin fan, but them niggas going to the playoffs next year. I'm telling you right now.
but also, this is also the part of the season where Jets fans were looking hopeful at. The Jets fans that thought that, oh, the Jets can make the playoffs, this is now. There were Jets fans that thought this. I didn't say any of them are sane. One of them may come on the show
See,
next.
that's where you need to hit them with the smoke weed every day shit.
One of them may come on this show next week. And listen, if he comes on the show next week, not only do you need to listen, but tax season is right around the corner, and you need to hit up Big Al's Tax Services, because listen, not only does he help you get that guap back, he always makes sure you get the most guap back. Listen, more bang for your buck. It don't
Talk to
matter what
them.
team he roots for. He's all about that paper, baby,
talk
and all
to
about
him,
getting
talk
you
to
back
him.
your paper. We're gonna have him on the show next week so you can take down that information. And listen, when you go there, tell him MyT sent you, and you get extra $50 cash right there. Just saying.
I want to talk about that Giants that Jets game slightly.
Which one?
The Giants that Jets game. I want to say probably
No,
one major thing.
No, we'll talk about them, but let me
Yeah, go
finish,
ahead, go ahead.
my little Glovier.
Good,
Because
go ahead.
like
Go
I said,
ahead, go ahead.
and
Talk. Go ahead, talk your
I'm
shit.
done with the high point, right? I'm
Go ahead,
coming down
talk
now.
your
I'm coming
shit.
down now because the second half of the season is the part of the year that Jets fans looked at. The Jets fans that really thought that, oh, the Jets can do something, and thought that, oh, this is the part of our season is going to be easy. This is the part of the season where we should win. Not should win. There are 6 winnable games out of 8. And if they were to take care of their business, then it will be on this back half of the season, because they expecting the Jets to come away with like 3 wins for the first 8 games possibly, and then
Right.
they would have gotten maybe 5 or 6 depending on how hot they got, and possibly made a run at a wild card spot. That's what they believe.
Well, they
were
got Washington
delusional.
this week, so
Exactly. So you can see how some of these wins may start piling up. You're talking about Washington in here. I think you're also talking about
Oakland next week.
I think
That's
you're
a
talking about
L.
Cincinnati's.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Exactly. So you got Washington and Cincinnati. So you understand how that second half of the season, and also why New England was favored to possibly go undefeated, because they also play these Cincinnati's and also these Washingtons and also the Giants.
They about to start catching some L's too coming up.
Well, now their season starts to get a little bit heavier for them.
Yeah, those
They start to get tested. See, the first half of their season was untested. The second half of their season where all of their tests come.
Trust me, I'm looking at their schedule right now. I see 2 losable games on here coming up
But
for them.
the Jets-Giants game wasn't anything pretty. What did happen was we saw Adams beat Adams. He's the best player on the team. Two tackles. Both of them resulted in a fumble.
And son Daniel Jones. Son that nigga. What?
He hit him with the
Took that nigga's what, man? You can't be doing somebody like that. That's somebody's son.
in
That's
the words
somebody's
of
father.
Richard Sherman.
Uh-uh.
Insert your quarterback or favorite receiver there.
Basically. Insert Daniel Jones right there.
So
He son him out. Like, oh my God. No.
and then Saquon Barkley
Forgot that.
getting
Exactly. Forgot that.
-1 yard. That is, see, if
But
Le'Veon
see-
Bell comes out of any game getting -1 yards, I am sick. Because that's how Giants should feel about their quarterback. Their running back.
That's
their
how
star
I feel
running back.
about
We're
Saquon.
talking about Mr. Tree Trunk Leg over here.
That's how I feel about what Saquon's performance was on Sunday. And part of it, I'm going to put on that line, but then another part of it, I'm going to put on Saquon himself. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there are times where I feel like he's gunning so hard to make that big play that he's losing all these yards. And I haven't just seen that in the Jets game. I've seen it in prior games. I'm like, you get the little handoff. It's like, all right, cool. Take the little 2-3 yards. It's cool. Next thing you know, he's running around and shit. Next thing you know, he done lost like 7-8 yards. Like, come on, man. You're not going to hit the home run every play. Just take the easy yards. But at the same time, I can't blame him when that offensive line isn't doing jack shit for him. Bunch of makeshift ass offensive linemen look like they should be playing for the semi-pro. Get the hell out of here, man.
So that's the upsets of the week, right?
No load management for Saquon, by the way. None of that.
Those are my homer upsets. Now, there were 2 other upsets.
One of them I picked.
There were 2 of. Well, which one?
That Browns win. Sure
That
did,
was
baby.
an upset.
Oh,
the Buffalo. That's not an upset.
Oh, don't do that.
That's not an upset.
Don't do that.
Okay, you know what? Let's go through the week.
Don't do that.
Let's go through the week.
Don't do
Let's
that.
Go through the week.
Don't do that.
Let's go.
Don't do that. The way the Browns been looking. That's an upset. The
but-
way the Browns
but
been
we're talking-
looking,
but we're
that's an upset.
But we're talking about second half Buffalo.
I don't give a damn. The way the Browns been looking, any win for them right now is a damn upset.
But if you would have came at the beginning of the year and said Cleveland Browns versus Buffalo, who's gonna win?
It don't matter about the beginning of the year. It matters about what the hell I've been seeing. I've seen a head coach lose them games. I've seen a quarterback don't look like the hot shit that he used to.
So-
I've seen Odell go from top 3 receiver to is this man even on the field right now? Know what I'm saying? So, the only constant over there about the Browns have been is Nick Chubb, and that's about it.
Whoa.
And then Landry every now and then too. But
So let's not.
upset. I called that.
look,
I'm
look.
taking that. I'm taking credit for that.
I'll give you credit for the W. Like we're not gonna take credit away from you for
It's
picking
upset, baby.
for picking that team. But
Picking the Browns at that point made no sense off of
didn't.
what
and
we've been
I
seeing from
questioned
them.
your sanity last week,
Exactly.
but you justified it with also telling us this is a second half Bills. So you're not shocked.
I'm not.
Exactly.
But at the same time, with what we've been seeing from the Browns, it's like, fuck would you pick them for?
Because you want me to tell you what happened last week? 13 games. We both did bad. But ironically, we had the same record. Both went 6-7 last week.
Word? Damn. I thought I went better than that.
Oh no, it was bad last week. Right?
Oh, yeah, freaking
We split a couple of
Indianapolis
games.
losing.
First game, Chargers versus Oakland. Right?
Shout out to
Oakland came out there.
Shout out to Oakland for holding it down.
Yeah, you picked Oakland. I had the Chargers. That was my first. That was my first. My
My
first
boy
L.
Phillip Rivers was handing them out like he was trying to give his kids back, man.
Now, as you know, we're only gonna talk good about players if they put over 100 yards, or if a quarterback is thrown for over 350 yards in their W. Guess what happened here in this Oakland game? That didn't happen. There's nobody to talk about. It was just the Oakland victory, 26-24. We're gonna
Phillip
find
Riv-
a pattern here.
Because Phillip Rivers was gift wrapped in those interceptions, boy.
Oh, listen. We already know. And this is my fault for thinking that the guy with 9 kids was going to be able to pull out a W.
Leave him alone.
This guy has never pulled out of anything in his life. Listen, the furthest he was doing was in the playoffs. After a while, you don't keep shooting as hard as you anymore. So now he's just failing halfway through the season. Like he's not even making it to the playoffs anymore. He's not even making it to the uterus. Is what I'm saying over here. Like, listen.
Hey, Philly, go ahead and give us 10, man. Go
If the Super Bowl
go
is
ahead
the,
and give us the
if
10
the Super Bowl
kids.
is the clit, he has never found that shit, but he still got 9 kids because he doesn't pull out for shit. And apparently he can't pull out a W again. He takes an L to Oakland. Then we go into Cincinnati. Where winless Cincinnati goes out and takes on Baltimore. And I'm talking about Baltimore did such a good job that Mr. RG even made an appearance. I mean, Lamar, I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson, he did so much work. I'm talking about he just kept on running on them. I'm talking about every single time, every single game.
I'm giving these Baltimore Ravens a round of applause because they did exactly what you're supposed to do
When you play a bum-ass team.
Yes, to a bum ass team.
Which, not for
you beat
nothing.
the shit out of them.
Not for nothing.
Unlike some people did, which they will be dealt with very, very soon.
Not for nothing. This is very similar, except for they allowed the team to score this time. This is very similar to what they did
To the
in week
Dolphins.
1. Actually, no,
Oh,
sorry.
no.
I'm sorry. The Dolphins did score. They scored 10 points. It was 59 to 10.
Oh my God.
This time it was
Oh,
49
trust me.
to 13.
Trust me. As I was
So-
following
and
the
so
score,
I am so glad I was able to watch that Baltimore game when they came down here and played the Dolphins and watch Lamar Jackson play one time.
Man,
I'm
that
happy
boy-
I got to witness
That
that
boy
game.
Lamar, man, that boy's something special, kid. He is something special.
But once again, this is a game. Nothing special happened. Just a dominant, which is odd because I
the
told
only
you,
reason we
I- I
care
tell you-
is because of Lamar Jackson highlights. That's all we cared about.
I told, and this is why I always have to preface my qualifications: 100-yard receiving, 100-yard rushing, or 350 yards from the quarterback. That's how you get mentioned in this segment.
But I mean, some
Now
of
that
them.
didn't happen.
But them highlight
But
plays, though,
Baltimore
man.
was dynamic. And,
Dynamic, man. I
in
don't know.
every
Good
aspect
luck.
of the game. And
Every defense, good luck.
we-
Good luck. Good luck with that. Good luck.
Like I said,
I ain't gonna lie. The game they got next week is gonna be crazy.
the game they have.
Houston and
next-
Baltimore. Deshaun
Oh,
Watson.
yes.
Lamar Jackson. Ooh, that's gonna be
I don't
nice.
know why. For some
That's
reason,
gonna
I
be
keep telling
nice.
myself that's the game for the division, even though
gonna be
they're not in the
nice.
same division.
That's gonna
So-
be nice right there.
As you keep saying, what you want to call it? Game between Buffalo and Cleveland, where Cleveland eked out a 19-16 victory over Buffalo. You know what? So you know what happened here? One good thing happened here.
What up?
They went back to the old adage, let's work on our ground and pound. And they didn't go soft. They didn't go semi.
For once.
They went full-blown Nick Chubb on their asses and rushed 20 times, 116 yards. But unfortunately, it didn't matter how much of a Chubb he had. He couldn't find the end zone, not once.
All fantasy owners are very, very upset about that.
You should be. But you know what? If you're a Cleveland fan, you're happy.
Exactly.
You
gotta
have
fucking
just as
win.
many wins now as the New York Jets. Congratulations. Wait, no. Oh, did they just add one? Nope, they just added one. One more win now. He just added one. I'm sorry.
I was actually about to think about that. Like, whoa. No. Hold on a second.
Now, next up, it's another game. Carolina went down into Green Bay. Oh, let me back up. I was wrong about Buffalo. We both had Baltimore. We both picked Green Bay. We were right about Green Bay. Green Bay went in there, dropped 24 on them, 24-16.
Aaron Jones is a stud.
Devontae Adams, though,
Is a stud.
is the one that did all the work this time. Seven carries, 7 carries, 7 receptions, 118 yards. And then this.
McCaffrey still top 3 MVP.
Oh, he's
Don't play with me.
still a beast. He is
Don't play
still
with me.
beasting. He is still beasting.
Don't play with me. And that shit for Cam, that shit's dead.
Now,
That shit is dead for Cam in Carolina.
for all of you people down in the dirty South,
Oh Lord, I've been
for
waiting
all of
for
you
this
people in ATL, for all of you Atlanta fans, first things first, I want to, for listening to the podcast last week, and running back and telling the Falcons, because this is the only, once again, full moon, Mercury in retrograde, we have a game. And was a part of me that wonders what would have happened if you would have had steady Teddy behind center, maybe not just 2-3 weeks removed from an injury, from a thumb injury, but sometimes division games don't always bring out the sane. And I think that's what happened here. Atlanta went into New Orleans. And New Orleans is that kind of place where I don't assume they have breaks, but if they did, they would have had them beaten off of them this last game.
Normally they're doing the
26
opposite,
to
beating the
9.
brakes off people. This shit made no sense to me.
26 to 9. Now,
Let me know when you're done, cause I gotta
as
address.
we
I gotta
said,
address the
there are
people.
qualifiers to have your name mentioned in this segment. Atlanta doesn't have any of them, but we will talk about them because you won, and we want you to feel like winners. You know, we want to feel, like you've done something. So you won, but one of the problems that you said that they had, continue to maintain, because you would think that in a win like this, Julio Jones would go off, right? No, Julio Jones doesn't go off. You know who went off in that game? Mike Thomas went off. You know how many times Julio Jones was targeted? 9 times. You know how many receptions he had? 3. For 79 yards. So granted, 79 yards.
He had that big 54-yard
But
play.
3
for some
catches
reason.
on 9 targets. Granted, you got the W. I get it. Mike Thomas in an L had 9 catches on 11 targets. Right?
More than that, big dog. I'm looking at it right now.
What's that?
13 for $152.
13 targets?
13 catches.
13 catches.
For a
and
buck 52.
so he doubled his yardage, and he was targeted just as many times. A little bit more, but just as many times. So there is something going on in Atlanta with either the accuracy of their passer or the accuracy of their catcher.
I mean, let me go ahead and talk to
But
the
you
people.
won. So, as we do anytime we give kudos on the show, Atlanta.
Big up.
Well, go ahead.
Let me talk to the
I'm
people.
gonna sit back and sit for a while.
Yeah, let me talk to the people for a little bit here, because during this game and close to the end, and by the end of this game, my messages and a couple of my friends were,
Close constituents.
oh yeah, kind of calling the phone a little bit, little messages here and there with the, hey, you peeping what Atlanta's doing right now? With the eyes like, KJ, Matt Ryan's still not elite. Hey, it caught me by surprise, man. Matt Ryan, he strolled into Atlanta. Him and his defense. That defense actually did show up for once. They went into New Orleans and they flat out kicked the shit out the Saints. There's no way to beat around the bush there. They flat out kicked the dog shit out of them. Had Drew Brees out there running for his life. I swear Drew Brees after that game was considering retiring.
Ooh,
Drew
let the air out of
Brees probably did what you just did right now. Took a couple hits after that game, after that ass whooping, because my goodness. And I'm sure a good amount of y'all were probably expecting me to come on here, probably eat a little crow about what I said about the Falcons last week. So you know what? I guess I should just go ahead and give people what they want. Y'all motherfuckers could kiss my ass if you actually thought that I was going to come up on here and give the Falcons any type of credit for that win. Are you kidding me? If anything, a game like that just pissed me off even more about these Falcons. I don't even like being on some hater shit. You think I like talking about the Falcons like this? You think I like dragging them like this? I drag them because they should be way better than what they are. Congratulations. Yes. Congratulations for that great win. All you people who been in my DMs calling me about Matt Ryan this, how about Atlanta now? Falcons defense decided to show up. Congratulations. That win did nothing but take you to 2 wins. 2 wins. Now imagine if the Falcons could do what the hell they just did this past weekend every freaking week. Or instead of 2-7, then bitches might be 7-2. And then maybe we could actually really start talking about maybe this Matt Ryan could possibly be elite. Get the hell out of here, man. Get the fuck out.
That's okay. We understand.
Why don't that defense do what they did all game like that against New England a few years back? And then maybe the culture has themselves a Super Bowl. And instead, we not choking a 25-point lead. That L was on the culture, man.
So don't let one victory have you go chasing waterfalls. Basically.
Hell no. Fuck out of here.
And listen.
A regular season win, and I'm supposed to call you elite? Get the fuck out.
You mentioned something that was probably spot on. Part of the reason why we're hard on Atlanta is because you look in Atlanta, and they have what is considered, in a lot of eyes, a elite quarterback.
They're annoying. They're annoying. Their record should be Seattle.
They have an elite wide receiver. You could definitely say without a shadow of doubt, he's an elite wide receiver.
Real talk. Who's better at wide receiver than him?
Now that Antonio Brown is officially gone and you can't even mention him in the category.
Who's better than him at wideout that you would take before him? Only possible person you could possibly take before him, DeAndre Hopkins.
I was about to say.
That's about it.
And no. There's one more I want to say. I'm not taking Odell, definitely.
No.
I was gonna say there was
Devontae Adams? No.
No, I was gonna say there was one more, but I may come
Amari
across his
Cooper?
name.
No.
No. Is he on my list?
No.
Nah.
Michael Thomas, maybe?
Michael Thomas, I'm still trying to work. But he catches what comes in his area too.
He catches what comes in his area. Kudos to him.
Once again,
but I'm still.
I don't know
what I'm trying to get at here is there's not many, if any, that you take over Julio right now. But
Julio Jones
2-7.
Julio Jones is forever for a good decade now. However long he's been in the league, has been in the conversation of all top 3 wide receivers. And the only reason why you ever consider somebody else over him in certain scenarios is because they're slightly younger and they're showing the same kind of production. or they just look slightly more explosive, but then you don't want him in your locker room. Old dirty bastard. I'm sorry, I mean Odell Beckham.
All of them, to be honest, other than DeAndre and Mike Thomas, them boys are
Yeah,
quiet
Andrew
too.
Hopkins stays out of. Yeah, so like he's younger
Yeah,
and he's
quiet.
shown to have the same kind of skill set.
Quiet. The
Right.
only thing DeAndre
But-
might do is test his wardrobe, like Cam does.
Atlanta did do, and Atlanta did. Once again, we're hard on Atlanta because we thought Atlanta was
They
going
should
to
be
be
way
better than
better,
this.
man. That's the
I mean,
that's
you
the
have,
issue
you have
that
a
I
good
have.
running back. We don't know if their running back is elite because he had a 1 or 2 good years and then he's been very injured prone since then and hasn't been able to really show, but gets drafted high in fantasy because of that a lot, and disappoint a lot of fantasy owners because of that as
You know what
well.
I'm saying?
So
And
you
I
kind of
don't
have
want
to figure
know,
out what some of these players are. But you expect Atlanta, once again, when you look at Atlanta, you look at them like, okay, they look like they have enough people at certain skill sets to
Absolutely.
be productive. And then once
Absolutely.
again,
And their defense, especially their D line, their D line was fucking amazing this
remember-
past weekend. So it's like, why can't we get this every week? Why can't we get this type of effort from y'all every week? If we got that shit from them, we would talk about them the way we talk about New Orleans up there, how we
Kansas
talk about San
City,
Francisco. How
Baltimore.
I'm just talking about NFC teams. Talk about New Orleans, San Francisco, Seattle, Green Bay, Minnesota. That's how we would talk
Even
about
Dallas.
Nah,
You
they
talk- you talk-
if Atlanta,
you talk about them as much as you talk about Dallas.
I'm not gonna insult those teams that I just said by
by
putting
putting
Dallas
Dallas
in
in
that
there. Gotcha.
category. That's an insult to those
I
teams
was
right
just
there
saying
by talking
how
about
much
the
more
Cowboys.
they would be mentioned.
Listen, if Atlanta was where they're supposed to be, they would wash Dallas too.
Sorry. There we go.
I'm here every week. Hot takes.
So next up, Detroit goes into Chicago. We both had this game wrong.
Ain't nobody care.
Chicago's, which is right.
This is one that we can really just talk about for 30 seconds and go to the very next
They-
game.
they-
Especially Stafford didn't play. We had bum-ass University of Florida quarterback Jeff Driscoll playing
And
over
they
there.
produced nothing to talk about. Either.
Nothing to talk
This
about.
was a 20-13 victory.
The only
Then
thing
next up, we already talked about this game. I only have one thing to say about this game. $27-30. They won that game 34-27. They did nothing else to talk about this game. The only reason why they even got as much burn as they did on the show today is because our quarterback. That's my quarterback. Like, that's the only reason why they got that kind of burn.
Yep.
So,
In case you didn't know, the host is a Jets fan.
next up. This one was just sad. I'm not even a fan. Like, this not even my team. This one is just sad to see them when they fail. Like,
You must be talking about them Chiefs.
Kansas City.
Man,
They go into Tennessee. They lose 32-35.
Listen, man. My son Patrick Mahomes, man. Fresh off injury. 450, something like that, close to it. 3
Now,
touchdowns, 4 touchdowns,
Remember, we
something
told you,
like that.
we don't talk about the losers in this category. We have a place for them. We have a place for them, and they'll get their moment of shine.
The jump pass touchdown.
Oh my God,
That I remember watching that shit live. I'm thinking that's just gonna be a simple. I didn't even see the jump live. I just saw the throw. I see him catch it. I'm thinking, okay, quick tackle, first down. I'm like, okay, he's still running. But oh, there's 2 people right there. They're gonna get him. I'm like, oh shit, he's still going. Fuck. I'm like, who is that? Tyreek? I'm like, nah, that's not Tyreek. He's a little bit more skinny. This nigga McCall Hardman, man, they got too much speed over there.
they have athletes.
Yeah.
They have some pure
They had
thoroughbreds over
too
there.
much speed.
But
Man, it looked
unfortunately,
like
none of
he
that
was
helped
running.
them win the game. Because you know who came away with that victory? It was Tennessee. And it was 35-32. I told you, this isn't the section for losers. And unfortunately, they were losers. Like,
'Cause of that
I don't
defense.
know what kind of
How you
transit
let in-
system they have that goes on in Kansas City.
How
But
you
I'm
let
from
in-
New York. And when you when you get beaten, there's only one thing that you can do. Take your ass on the L train and take your ass home. They lost
Word.
32 to 35. Derrick Henry touched that ball 23 times. He had
Shout out to the
188
defense.
yards. He found the end zone 2 times. He was the all-star of that game. He helped propel their team to a close hairpin victory. That hurts my heart to say over Kansas City Chiefs.
Man,
Because I
you
don't know
know
why
you
they're so
got-
lovable. Why are they so lovable?
You know,
Why
you
are they
got
so lovable?
because of that quarterback, man. Everybody loves Showtime Mahomes, man. Shout out to some of the homies, man. We call him Pat Got Hoes. Shout out to Fred. Pat Got Hoes.
Right? So
Yeah.
we were both wrong on that game as well. You see
Yeah,
how these
'cause that
losses,
that
you see how these
defense-
losses started racking up
Because
for us,
that
right?
defense can't stop a lick. You know you got problems when you let the Tennessee Titans score 35 points on you.
Now, the next game, I try to warn you. As you said that there were some crazy picks that you picked. This may be another one of them crazy picks that you picked. Now listen, like I'm the only one that does this in the room, but every once in a while you sound like you.
Smoke weed every day.
I want to know what pick you talking about, man. I'm blown now.
Arizona went into Tampa Bay.
Oh, damn. This
Where
nigga Jameis decided to
Kyler,
freaking...
I shoulda played baseball. Murray went into Jameis turnover chain. I understand he didn't play for that school. Winston.
He
went in
still
there
turned the ball over too damn much.
And listen, he did what he is supposed to do.
Turn the fucking
And
ball
he
over
went
too
in
much.
there and he said, like, yo, I came into this league and I talked about wanting to be like the Tom Brady's, the Drew Breeses, and the Peyton Mannings of the world.
Insult.
But little did he know that he was actually going to play
Like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
with the guy that he is actually going to end up being his career, and that is Ryan Fitzmagic. And I'm telling you, listen, what's his name? What's his name again? Jameis Winston. He has his own little kind of magic, and he was able to sling that ball all over the place. Now we told you this
was
is a
just going to
place.
the Cardinals.
This is a place where you only get mentioned is if you were rushed or received for over 100 yards. And guess what? He didn't have anybody that did that. But you know how else you get mentioned in this category? By
350
passing
plus.
for over 350. And Jameis Winston did that with even a 1 to 2 touchdown to interception ratio.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
300.
Cardinals, you should be sick.
48 passes, 30 completions, 358 yards.
It's disgusting.
1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
It's disgusting.
Mr. Turnover Chain,
These-
turnover chain,
these Tampa-
turnover chain, found his magic for one game
These Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
and came away with a
man.
W.
These Tampa Bay
Which-
Buccaneers are fucking annoying.
Not for nothing.
It really all goes on Winston. All his
He got that win, and he doesn't even have 9 kids.
the shit the shit is if he plays good the way he could the way he's capable of playing, you see Tampa go into freaking LA and put 55 on somebody's head.
Stop.
And
Stop,
then
stop.
you'll see him look like shit, and then let's run
You
some
have
of
to
these
stop giving-
things. Let's run some of these things right
Jameis
here.
Winston no longer gets credit.
Like, come on.
Jameis Winston no longer gets full credit for what he does. Jameis Winston is Ryan Fitzpatrick. Do you give Ryan Fitzpatrick? Okay, you know what? No. I'm lying.
No, Ryan
I'm lying.
Fitzpatrick gets credit for them
Exactly.
first couple games
He
for
get-
last
he-
season
Ryan
when he
Fitzpatrick
was
does get
lighting it
credit
up.
when he does good games, but we don't anticipate him being a winner. We anticipate him being a more exciting Kirk Cousins, a
Oh,
more exciting.
oh,
Actually, no, more exciting Kirk Cousins.
oh, man. Not Kirk, not my cousins.
Yeah, all in the family.
Oh, my gosh. Not Kirk.
So
Because here's the problem. There are times where Fitzpatrick will actually rise to the fucking moment.
what
I-
Jameis Winston did.
I have yet to see freaking Kirk Cousins really step up to the plate
Well,
when
we
it
said
fucking matters.
Jameis Winston. We said Jameis Winston. Not is a more excited Kirk Cousins.
I'm sorry. I only took it there because you brought him into this shit.
So
You know Kirk, not my
Jameis
cousins,
Winston-
makes me sick.
Jameis Winston, he did one of the pull out games. And not for nothing, you shouldn't let the rookie beat you. He should be shown like, you know what? This is gonna be the game when we show the rook how to do this. And
he didn't show the
listen,
rook shit. He
exactly,
showed the rook how to turn the fucking
showed,
ball over.
He showed him exactly how to make all of the passes that you should make, and he also showed him how to not make all of the passes that you shouldn't make. Listen, Jameis Winston is the perfect guy to learn from. He can show you everything what to do and what not to do all in one game.
Listen, future quarterbacks, do not listen to a word that Tyler just said, okay? Don't listen to a fucking word. If I ever hear anybody say they study Jameis Winston, listen, I'm putting you at a different position right then and right there. You are no longer playing quarterback. You better go line up out wide or some shit. We're gonna get you
Jameis
some
Winston
hands,
getting a
some
few
shit.
of these. I'm not surprised that every once in a while he's gonna have a game that looks like this, and he's gonna make you think like, oh man, maybe he's gonna be worth it. Jameis Winston, and there's a reason why I'm calling him Ryan Fitzpatrick for a reason, is because he's gonna have a 12-year career doing this.
Oh yeah, after this year, it's over for him.
You understand? I
You
realized this
better
last year.
You better start getting ready to be a backup.
Was it Ryan Fitzpatrick played for them last year, right?
Yep.
Was it two? Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't last year or 2 years ago. Could be a combination
Last
of
year.
maybe both. Well, he could have had a 2-year contract with them, but Ryan Fitzpatrick was playing with that team, and we saw Ryan Fitzpatrick light it up for 3-4 weeks with Tampa Bay,
And then,
but we saw somebody else do something with those weapons that Jameis Winston has had for years now, for a couple of years now. He had Jackson for a couple of years now. He has had Evans at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And what Ryan Fitzpatrick did with them in 4 games, Jameis Winston hadn't done with them in a whole year of having them. And then when Jameis Winston came back, he started catching those guys a little bit more downfield. It took Ryan Fitzpatrick to show him on field on how to utilize his own talent around him. I realized this when you
Jameis still didn't even figure it out, to be honest.
when you go all the way back to
Because
the
if he
last
did, Deshaun wouldn't be in Philly.
to the last place that Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson came from, on how they were being utilized. No, sorry, Evans was drafted.
Evans
there.
was drafted.
But Deshaun that Jackson.
Deshaun,
Deshaun Jackson was that before he came there, and how he was utilized, and how many 50 ball games he had, and how many deep passes he had, how many deep ball touchdowns, 40-yard touchdown plus. You know what I mean? And yet Jameis Winston couldn't find him. So I end up seeing 2 or 3 quarterbacks that had did better with that talent than he has had.
Yeah.
That made me realize there's something wrong with Jameis Winston. And then finally, it's like, yeah. And now he's over here trying to think if he's gonna get a job. No, Jameis Winston's gonna have a nice 10-year career. He's gonna put in a decade in this league, being Mr. Turnover Chain, Turnover Chain, Turnover Chain. I understand he didn't play for that school.
I'd be sick if he played for that school. I'd be sick.
But you understand, if he played for that school, he would have been even more of a phenom.
That is true. That is very, very true.
And he would have been stealing crab legs. They would have been croquetas.
I ain't gonna lie, we talking too much about an irrelevant ass quarterback right now.
But he put up 350 yards. So he gets mentioned here. Next, we don't have anybody else to talk about for the rest of these games.
Now we can talk about these bum ass Cowboys who lost again in prime
We already
time.
talked about Miami beating Indiana 16-12. And actually, you know what?
We can talk about them bum ass
Well,
Cowboys once again folding
They
on their
didn't put any.
face.
They didn't put any numbers up worth talking about.
Oh no,
but
Dak Prescott did his thing.
your Pittsburgh Steelers, and granted,
Shout out to the Steelers. Oh nah, yeah. Hell yeah. Oh
you were
yeah,
wrong
let's
about
get to
Arizona,
that.
I was right about Tampa Bay. We were both wrong about Indiana. I was wrong about the Rams. Of course, you were right about your Pittsburgh
I
Steelers.
told you there was something funky about those Rams. And that boy Todd Gurley, let me tell all you fantasy owners who have Todd Gurley, don't draft him again anymore. I told you that knee is shot.
Tendonite.
That knee is shot. It's done for. But at the end of the day, I saw his numbers for that game. On top of that, because he had moments where he really was running that thing. I'm like, he had 12 carries for 73. I'm like, give him the rock. Second half, he didn't really touch the ball that much, and it made no sense to me. I'm like, it's like they pulling load management with Todd Gurley. I'm like,
Well, they figure. I think they thought they was gonna win that game. 1.
I don't know why.
And then 2, they figure like if we're gonna be in the playoffs, we're gonna need him later on. Because like I said, if he has tonight,
Listen, that playoffs for the Rams,
it's looking slim
it's
now.
not looking good.
You
Honestly,
can't
right
take these
now,
losses.
I don't even have them in my. For me, when the season ends, I don't think the Rams are gonna be in the playoffs.
It's gonna be tough.
From the beginning of the year, I was even saying I feel like the Rams are gonna fall off. I had Seattle win that division, and we got to talk about that game because I did pick them boys to beat
Oh no, we
San
both
Francisco.
picked Seattle.
Oh yeah,
We weren't
yeah.
sleeping on Seattle.
Hell no, hell no.
Listen, we didn't care about how much. That's the only love he's gonna get here because I like that drop.
Porn star Jimmy.
And I love me some Angie Martinez. If y'all know who Angie Martinez is, like,
Facts.
legend. I love me some Angie Martinez. I had her only
Facts. Angie.
Angie
the Dawn.
Angie Martinez may be one of the reasons I maybe even wanted to be on radio. Like, listen, her, Funk Flex, all them cats, Howard Stern, like all
Angie
these
the
are
Dawn.
influences. Oh no, she's
The voice of hip hop.
yo,
Stop playing.
She's on one of the radio Hall of Fames for New York.
Ooh, should be on every one of them.
Like,
dude.
honestly, I don't know where her outreach goes to. You know what I mean? But for New York, oh no, she's definitely on that radio
Come
Hall
on.
of Fame.
Come on, she's top 5, and she's definitely not 5'4", 3.
And then, like I said, when you have to place her amongst, when you start micro dividing, categorizing, her peers, and put her amongst women, I think she's amongst all of them when it comes to radio. Right,
Smoke
top.
some more.
Yeah.
Smoke some more. Smoke some more.
So,
Smoke some more.
but we're not gonna talk about the Jimmy yet, right?
Nah.
Pause.
Ha.
We're gonna talk about your Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mike
Now-
T. Let me tell you right now.
MyT.
Nice one. But
It is the MyT Sports Podcast.
that is true. The MyT Sports Podcast. But yes, Mike Tomlin, the Dawn, until he sees Belichick. But either way, that man is proving how good of a coach that he is this year. Like I said, 0-3, no Le'Veon, no Antonio. Ben gets hurt middle of the second game of the season.
Rudolph. Not Zach Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph.
Oh yeah, and then his ass got lit up to the point where he's falling out, knocked out in midair in one game. You know what I'm saying?
Was it him that had his ankles looking backwards?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was him. That was him. But somehow, some way,
Somehow, some way,
with help by Minka Fitzpatrick. Thank you, Miami Dolphins, for that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, gotta restart the live again. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
So,
But yeah,
17-12.
17-12, Mike T the Dawn. I think
Which-
this is definitely his best coaching year.
It has
of all
to
his
be.
years.
And
Other than the Super Bowl year. But yeah,
Well-
definitely best coaching year
well,
because I think
you call the Super Bowl year the best Super Bowl, I think because it results in a Super Bowl. But
if there's one thing that this whole NFL season has shown, has
Actually-
revealed,
that year was actually a good year for him, too. I do hear stories that come out from that year of how he tested the mantle of his team.
the thing that I'm seeing a lot when it comes to this NFL season, coaching is really being exposed. Coaching is really being exposed out here. If you really don't have a good coach, you're being exposed for it. And if you got it, like shoot, if the Saints didn't have good coaching, when Breeze went out, over. When Mahomes went out, over. Without good coaching, the Steelers, that 0-3 turns into what Cincinnati's
Because
record is.
You're basically saying if you have good coaching, if you lose your quarterback or one or two good players, the bottom shouldn't fall out of your team, right? Like,
And
all of
ladies
us-
and gentlemen, this is turned into now a New York Jets rant.
all of a sudden, if the guy that you say is the guy, if
Time
you're
to
the,
talk
if,
about the
if you are the
gays.
freaking quarterback whisperer, if you are the person that is supposed to be the head coach, that's supposed to take your team to the promised land, like when you have your quarterback, you're supposed to look good. Whether you don't have your quarterback, but no, instead of hiring good head coaches that win Super Bowls, you hire the gays out of Miami. I'm sorry, I don't want to sound homophobic, but I hate Adam Gaze. Why the fuck? And then the New York Jets have the audacity, the unmitigated motherfucking gall to sign a fucking seal of approval on the rest of his fucking tenure for the fucking Jets for the rest of this goddamn season. Like, why is he on this team? Why is he a leader of men? Why is Judge Doom in charge of my team?
You all right? No?
Go back to coaching. Fucking coaching. 'Cause this is what coaching is. If if you had to
I ain't gonna lie, yeah.
you was
When I
coached
saw
at-
when I saw that notification that the Jets are keeping Adam Gase past this season, I'm like, oh, talent. Oh Lord. Oh my
Sick.
God.
Sick.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, I felt.
You know what? I was driving too. I was like,
You texted me. Don't text me right now. I'm
I was
driving.
I was driving. I was going to my niece's my niece's honor roll
I was
like
dying.
presentation. I was like, I don't want to go down this dark rabbit
was
hole.
dying.
Like,
I was dying.
oh man, you know what? This is. I think this may be a time to take a little break. We gonna
Oh
come
yeah,
back.
all
I'ma
that
cool off.
energy that you just let off
I'ma
right
cool-
there.
I'ma cool off.
You need to pour up. That's what you
Yeah.
need to do.
I'm gonna cool off and I'm gonna retop. More on the Mighty Sports Podcast.
Sheesh.
They didn't join this team to win championships or become famous. They joined because there is important work to be done, and only some able to do it. They are brighter, better educated, led, and equipped than any team in history. They are doctors, lawyers, engineers, technologists, and combat troops, all prepared for whatever comes their way. You'll find them where the lights don't flash, and the only contract they sign is with themselves and their country. One day, they may be asked what they did to make a difference in this world. And they can respond, I became a soldier.
That's the last of it. And we are back to the Mighty Sports Podcast. I am still your host, the one and only talented Omar Taylor. Hopefully I've calmed my ass down, and hopefully you're still listening. If you're still listening, you're listening live. Once again, I appreciate all live listeners, regardless of which platform that you're listening on. Whether you're catching it on KJ's on
IG
KJ's
Live, we
IG
see
live
you.
stream, or whether you're listening directly on the website on mytsports.net, I appreciate it. Or if you're catching the re-ear, whatever that's on the website, it's on Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Mixer.law, Facebook, iTunes. Still figure out what's going on iTunes. The Castbox. Go to where you find podcasts. Listen to Podbean. Podbean is number one. Yo, bless it. Big up to Podbean. I need to find a way to make them a sponsor. Like, I'll big up you up all day.
I ain't gonna lie now. Now it's time for me to lose my shit a little bit. Because we gotta steer away from this football talk and get into something that's very, very near and dear to my heart. Those fucking New York Knicks.
Okay.
Man, listen. Every year, when it comes to these damn Knicks, all I want is just these niggas to at least let me enjoy basketball until Christmas. That's all I wish. Knicks is like, all right, I know it's not going to be lit this year, but just give me until December. Give me until December. And now, let me point out the reasons why it hurts so much right now, and I'm vexed as if it's fucking January. Obviously, we have the obvious. Missed out on Zion. Missed out on KD. Missed out on Kyrie. And then you start going through the free agents that niggas signed. Julius Randle. Marcus Morris. Bobby fucking Porter. It was like, let's go out and draft every motherfucking power forward that we see on the block. Why don't you? Taj fucking Gibson.
See, now you gonna start
Like-
making me steam.
Like, my goodness, man. Poor R.J. Barrett. I heard Stephen A. say the other day, God damn it, Dennis Smith Jr. is home because he don't even want to deal with this shit. He's suffering through fucking depression watching these fucking Knicks, even though that man is really on because of death in the family. So it's that too, probably. Shit. Like, you know, like, damn, man, these freaking Knicks, they make me sick. You know, like, I gotta pull up from the schedule because it got to a point where, you know what, I don't torture myself. I don't torture myself really watching some of this nonsense. But when I see some of these losses, man, these getting blown out by Chicago by 18 points, kid. What else, man? Fucking Sacramento by how many? What the fuck? By 21? Detroit by 20? You beat Dallas at home, which makes, I'm like, yo, you get blown out to these teams that you beat Dallas at home. You barely lose to the Celtics by 2 because Tatum hits a game winner on you. You know what I'm saying? And then you lose by 21 to the fucking Cavs? Like, come on, man. And then like we said, man, the shit that really blows right now is, like, we expect the Knicks to be trash. You know, niggas is out here trying to enjoy their football Sunday. And then, you know, I just happened Sunday night just to really try to see scores. Shit. I was trying to check real stats real quick, whatever. And I see the first thing on the homepage was the president of the Knicks, Scott Perry, and them niggas talking about some. We expected the team to be better. The fuck are you talking about? And I tell you this right now, Stephen A., I wish you was listening, baby. We got you because you couldn't cuss on FCC airwaves like you wanted to on your radio show. Don't worry, this is no filter over here, baby. We gonna say whatever the fuck we want to say over here about these goddamn Knicks.
So that's the part that feds me. Like that's the
that shit had me vexed. That shit had me vexed, yo.
Like, see, yo, that's the part that feds me. That's the part that got me mad. Yo, first of all, right?
That shit had me so vexed.
This was supposed to be a rebuild year. So it's never. See, you gotta. Oh God.
Oh no, let it out. Let it out, nah, cause I'm with you on this shit. I'm with you on this shit. I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole. The Knicks are assholes. The Knicks are assholes. They do this shit to me. No.
You did some misery once company shit.
No. Nah, fuck that shit. Nah, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Because you know what? Because you know what? Fucking James Dolan.
And now I gotta go back down the same.
Oh yeah, let it all out at once, baby. Let it all out at once. You wanted to get purpose because you know you was gonna have to talk about these Knicks at some point in this shit. We was gonna have to talk about these niggas. Okay. You wanted to get all calm again and then get riled up again later.
So, cause
let it all out at once. So then that way we get back to being calm and shit.
The Knicks are confusing to me as an organization because.
No. We can't be playing no New York songs for these Knicks right now. They're not worthy of this shit. Turn this shit off. Turn this shit off.
Okay, you know what?
Play some whack shit. They deserve whack music, man.
Let's see, do I got some whack shit?
Play some shit from Texas for all I know, son.
Do I got some shit from Texas? Listen.
No. Play some Slim Thug or some shit. I don't know. Yeah, perfect.
You know,
perfect.
You know, there we go.
There you go. Oh. Don't do Fergie like that, son. Niggas know damn well they would say, if you ain't got no money, take your broke ass home.
What's wrong with the Knicks? All right, stick to your plan. Stick to your plan. Nobody should have thought, and I have Knicks fans that, once again, these are the same Knicks fans. These are the same Knicks fans that are also Jets fans that also thought the Jets could possibly make the playoffs this year. But I have Knicks fans that expected the Knicks to be better, and I understand. And
I don't get
see,
it.
This is why I don't want to go down this ledge because I'm gonna get to the tip of the edge. I'm gonna get to the tip of the edge. I'm not jumping off, but I'm gonna get to the tip of this edge. I'm gonna yell and I'm gonna curse and I'm gonna turn around because you were supposed to be bad this year. You just got a high draft pick. You didn't add anybody to the team this year to be dynamic enough to win.
Nobody.
So I don't understand.
You added a
I don't
bunch of
understand-
rotation niggas.
I don't understand why they're talking about possibly getting rid of Fizdale. Now,
But the way they did it, the way they went up there with that fucking press conference, that's how you go up there if you already fired the man. That's the problem I have.
Basically,
the main thing,
put him out there.
the main thing that
he
had
walked
me
the plank.
trip,
He walked the plank.
the main thing that I'm tripping off, I'm like, yo. I'm just waiting for the bar line to come, and the Knicks had fired David Fizdale because I'm like, the way you talked about it, I'm like, yo, give him the boot, even though he doesn't deserve the boot.
For that line because that's the next line.
Exactly. Even though he doesn't deserve the boot, not with that roster.
Well,
he's a good coach. He's a good coach, but that fucking roster right there, come on, man.
So
come on, man.
Now you understand why I'm not off the ledge because now this is what some of the logic starts to play in, and so first let's okay. So you ain't completely lost. Good. I don't have to worry about dragging a dead body up this mountain. Okay. Like we just attached to the same rope, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is that it's hard to watch them lose. The losing doesn't look good.
It is. It's
and so some teams
to the teams that are blowing us out. It's like what this
but
team.
Nothing. When you're bad, you're bad, and we knew we were gonna be bad. See, and this is the bad thing about it. And when Atlanta was going through this a year or so ago, you don't hear them talking about firing head coach or talking about all that shit.
Nope.
No, they stick with whoever we're gonna stick through whichever portion of whichever process we're sticking through that person through. When we were doing the tanking process, they had a head coach. Now when they were ready to do the rebuilding process, they got a different coach, and now they're riding with him. So.
But the shit is, these Knicks are jokes, man. They're
Different
jokes.
teams have that. So you can rebuild. Knicks don't know how to rebuild properly because what happens is that James Dolan.
Listen, we're not gonna be good.
James Dolan.
I hate this.
Jimmy Dolan. Dick Dolan. That dick fuck asshole Dolan. Right?
You're not. Real
Right?
talk. Here's a
Like-
hot take for you, real quick, and this is gonna sound real fucked up. And I apologize right now to everybody listening on the live, and whatever. The Knicks fans, whoever you are listening, understand this right now. We are not gonna be good until James Dolan is in the casket. As fucked up as that sounds. It is the truth. Because he's not going anywhere. He's not going.
And
As
somebody
petty as that
got
man is,
$25 billion to give him.
and even that, I really feel like he will not
It'll take
sell
25
that
bill.
team.
It'll take
I
25.
really feel like he will still
It'll
not
take
sell that team.
25 bills.
We will not be good. How old is this man right now?
He's young. Listen. He just wants enough money so he can go make his band and
Look,
travel the world.
man.
25 bills would do it.
Look, man. We will not be good until that man is in a casket
So.
and somebody else is running.
I expected the Knicks to be bad. Some of these losses are hard to watch. Now, there's different aspects of these games that are hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is it's hard to judge Tisdale a little bit because
Super hard.
And there's a part of me, I'm on the fence with firing Tisdale as well, but you can't fire him without a plan, and you can't fire him.
You know the Knicks ain't got no goddamn plan,
See,
man.
there you go.
You know that.
And you can't fire him unless it's definitely for the right coach that's going to be the next person to really do this. So basically, you can't fire him unless you're going to hire Mark Jackson.
The thing is,
That's the only way you do it. You fire him early enough for Mark Jackson to take over the rest of the season, and then give Mark Jackson a pass for this season as he develops. But
here's the shit, though.
It's-
Jackson is smarter than that. You really think Mark Jackson wants to leave the job that he has
secure
to come deal
broadcasting
with
job?
that shit?
he would, because I think he wants to be able to redeem himself and show that he can do what he did again in Golden State, and he wants to also to be able to do it in his hometown. He would love to do it in a team that in the city that he played for. And if he can do this,
He'll be forever revered.
They talk about the player
Forever revered.
that helped build that got a team to a championship.
Forever revered.
Imagine if he is just the guy that helped the rebuilding structure, and then the Knicks did Knicks shit and fire him, and then they still won a championship with somebody else under the helm.
That'd be fucked up.
He'll still be beloved. Like, you understand? He'll eat free, shop free, live free everywhere in New York still. Like, they'll give him the
is
credit
true.
that Golden State basically turns their back on him for.
It's true. And that's karma for Golden State bitch ass. That's why they asses keep getting blown out every night.
Because this is going to be now a test on Steve Kerr. Are you that coach to help develop? You were handed the Maserati. Can you keep up with the motherfucking payments, nigga? Can you pay the taxes? It's like motherfuckers that get that car from Wheel of Fortune. Oh, you want a brand new car? Can you pay the taxes to bring that shit home? Because that's taxes up front money.
You know, I feel you. I would just love to be able to judge Steve Kerr if he really had all his guys on his team.
So no, this
It's just
is
like-
the time to judge Steve Kerr.
It's just like, damn.
No,
Curry
this
out.
is the time to
Clay
judge Steve Kerr
out.
Because what did we say? The time to judge your coach is when
You lose your
shit
talent. Shit hits the fan.
fan.
Shout out to Mike Tomlin.
When everything is going right. Because listen,
Shout out to Sean Payton.
part of the reason why you're calling this Mike Tomlin's best year, because this is the time that he's had the least. Oh, you don't have Ben Roethlisberger anymore. You aren't handed a team from Coach Cowher. You don't have Antonio Brown. You don't have Le'Veon Bell. You don't have a veteran Ben Roethlisberger that's now has won 2 championships now at this point. You understand? You don't have any of this anymore. What can anybody say about you? Now when you see you coaching with nothing. Now this is when you're supposed to be judged. Not, the only time I can do something that looks like reasonable fucking football is when every goddamn thing is there. Sorry, we're talking about basketball.
Hey, no. It all ties in. It all ties in. Coaching all ties
I have to
in.
come away. I have to pull away.
Yeah, pull
I have
away.
to
Next
pull
thing you
away.
know, you start talking about them damn Jets again. I was nervous for you for a second. I was like, whoa.
I was about
Reel
to-
it
I
in,
was-
baby.
I was-
Reel
I
it
was
in.
about
Reel
to
it
go back.
in. Come back
So-
to me.
So, this is the time. Which coach were we talking about?
Kerr.
Okay.
Don't worry, I got you. I got you.
So this is the time to judge Curry because this is the time that you should be now developing players. Now, this is where I'm looking at Fizdale now. Because, Fizdale, you got this job because you got a ringing indictment. Ringing indictment from some very influential people.
Braun,
Two
Wade,
people
big up.
two people that don't play. Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley.
Them two.
Then you got a ringing endorsement from three players that are gonna go into the Hall of Fame.
First ballot.
Chris Bosh, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade.
Why you did LeBron like that? Why you did LeBron like that? Trust me, I'm no Braun fan either, man. But don't do him like that. Don't do him like that. Trust me, I am no Braun fan either. I'm a Kobe guy,
So
but you can't do that to
so,
Braun.
and then obviously the Sean Battiers and some other influential kind of
Yeah,
bench players,
yeah.
the Ray Allens. So ring an endorsement for how he helped Eric Spoelstra look and tweak little things about his game plan with the analytics, very specifically, the analytics that he brought to the game. The analytics, and then he had a player relationship with those kind of players. Yeah, hey, as he sound like Tone Loc, you know what I mean? If you do this a little bit more, and you play from the side of the wing, you'll be a little bit more effective in shooting 50. I love the analytics guy. So you can imagine him giving them little tweaks onto their game, but
Shit, he gave Wade his midi.
being a head coach is different when it comes to really managing a game plan consistently and a game flow and changing that game plan as a fly as those chess pieces keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you get some of these numbers, it shows like, hey, if you go ahead and you plug and play some of this in some of these key moments, that may work. But now what are you supposed to do when some of these things don't always go as it? See, this is why analytics always can't be. So now I'm starting to question this deal. What kind of coach are you really? Because you should be helping develop some of these guys, which I don't know if he is, and I don't know if he isn't, because Mitchell Robinson has shown some kind of improvement,
Definitely.
right? I want to say, I'm forgetting his name. Trier has shown to be a baller, but I don't know if that's. See, once again,
Where
Now-
has he been? That's the
See?
one.
So once again, so now little things start to come out, right? So now, because now you have to start questioning everything. Did Trier really improve, or has Trier always been a baller? And since Trier has shown what kind of baller he has been, has his game improved any? That's a
Man.
no.
All I know is my son Trier gets no burn anymore.
And I feel like he should be getting
Heavy burn.
so,
Heavy.
So now we look at is Mitchell Robinson's improvement because I'm just getting more burn and now I'm applying my work ethic, or am I being coached up to be an improved player?
Message now.
Mitch, the young rookie now, right? R.J. Barrett. All we've seen him now is just give him enough playing time for him to understand the game. Tons of playing time, 38 minutes a game. I'm not complaining. I love it because the only way that you're gonna learn how to play is to play this game.
Of course.
And you might as well.
And not get that bullshit load management nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't the time to do load management right
No.
now. Understand the game, learn the field. R.J. Barrett has been one of them players that
Load management is
every-
ass.
from his summer league, every summer league game I saw him playing, he got a little bit better. By the time he got to summer league, to the preseason game, he had improved again. And then by the time he started the season, he had improved again. And in the course of almost every 2-3 game span, you can see him get a little bit more comfortable, get more comfortable with the contact,
Yeah.
draw, go to the rim a little bit. The way that he probed, he did mention that he was a fan of two people that. Listen, I'm not a fan that he's a fan of these two people, but if you're a fan of these two people, that means that you may have a Hall of Fame trajectory in scoring and passing because he likes James Harden and LeBron James. I'm like, go ahead, Pimpin. I mean, it was the eye candy. I mean, I understand you probably didn't understand how to break down the game yet, but, youngster.
Right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But
So, now, this is the area that I do judge him on, but then can you judge him here? That's why I didn't want to talk Knicks yet. Do you judge him here? The point guard situation. Because now, this is really the area that we're looking at the Knicks at, and you're like,
when I'm seeing
what
Julius,
the fuck is going on?
when I'm seeing
Marcus
Julius
Morris?
Randle or Marcus
Morris is bringing
bringing
the
the
up?
ball up in the clutch, I'm like, what the fuck is going on, Knicks? What's going on?
Like, that's your initiator of the offense?
No.
So the Knicks have had a problem for now almost
God knows how long,
15,
kid.
20 years now,
Oh,
where they don't have a point guard since Stephen Marbury.
and the one time we had any speck of point guard play, it was 36 years old Jason Kidd. Now, granted, the first year we had him, we won 54 games. It was a beautiful, beautiful season.
Extra injuries started happening. What happens when you're leaning on veteran players so much versus the young players? When the young players can't show up or the young players are injured themselves.
Yep.
But Landry Fields, a bunch of other little cocksuckers. Brooklyn just signed Iman Shumpert, so big up to him being back in the city. You know what I
Facts.
mean?
Facts.
Because his wife is banging as fuck.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. The fuck? The fuck?
I can still feel that fade. God damn. What?
Doom, 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 doom.
I'm Shumpert's wife.
All right, Brett Musburger.
So it's hard to judge Fizdale. It's so now you start to see why I have a hard time to figure out why I'm gonna judge, because if you're gonna get him out of there, it has to be for Mark
Now.
Jackson, and it has to be early. Or you have to wait out the whole entire season to see what happens. Because honestly, what was Frank Ntilikina? What was Frank Ntilikina? Come on, I'm gonna need words.
Defensive stopper.
Listen, only speaks paragraphs in the islands. I need words from you.
Man, that should be all that should be needed when it comes to Frank Ntilikina,
No,
man.
what is what
The
is he though?
the defensive stopper,
Okay,
but with barely got handles, hardly struggles finishing in the lane, no jump shot. What
Okay.
what use do we have for
okay.
you?
So this is what he was, and this is what he's always been. Some kind of defensive guy with all kinds of offensive deficiencies. Decent
Bunch.
decent ball
You
handler.
really being nice.
decent prober of the game. of the court. Barely a decent pro, but at least good enough handle to run the point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Fizdale is supposed to coach that into what?
Mm-hmm.
No. Into what? A better defensive player.
Better
At
defensive
best,
player
what?
to
A
start
Marcus
off.
Smart? Maybe a Rajon Rondo? So, from
That
what
that passing ability that Rondo had.
so
though,
what we
that's-
see from Frank Ntilikina is exactly what Frank Ntilikina has always been before Coach Tisdale. And you want him to coach that out of him. Okay. So now you understand my first pass.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
Now,
Shout out to Phil for that.
Alfred Payton.
Oh,
Alfred Payton. What is
Alfred Payton. Oh my gosh.
he? Okay.
What the fuck? Just another Frank Ntilikina who can't play defense as well. At least can make layups.
And the only guy in NBA history to have his own shot blocked by his own bodily extremities.
And it's here.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck?
So whatever he is naturally, once again, Fizdale
Oh,
was supposed to try to.
Knicks.
So
Why are you
Fizdale-
such jokes?
So Fizdale didn't recruit him. Fizdale didn't coach him. Fizdale didn't scout him. That was handed to him. He's supposed to coach whatever tendencies that this guy has out of him. Alfred Payton at this point in time in his career is already a journeyman because of his lack of game.
This is really depressing.
So no. So this is what Fizdale. So this is what pisses me off, because this is what Fizdale is being judged on.
Exactly. Players who they're not gonna change.
Frank Ntilikina, that he had no input in bringing in there.
None.
Alfred
He's not gonna
Payton,
change.
That he didn't have. I don't know if he had input in this one, but I'm gonna say he didn't have input in bringing this guy in there.
And he's not gonna change.
And then Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr. That from the moment Luka Doncic stepped on the basketball court, they
It was
took the
over for
ball
him.
out of that boy's hand.
It was over for him. It
And
was over for him.
that shot his confidence
Way down.
first. Then the other shot to the monkey. Sorry, I don't like referencing anybody to monkeys. Sorry, my apologies.
My bad, Dennis.
So sorry. Don't do monkey jokes.
We'll edit that out.
So the other crab
No,
in
we
the barrel,
won't.
right?
Trading him to the Knicks.
Not even that. His jump, he has no jumper. So the new role that they have listed for him, off-ball guard, he can't play because he has no jumper consistently to make that shot when Luka penetrates and he gets open. So now he gets traded to the Knicks and he's giving back his point guard duties. But now at this point in time, it's already out on him. He's not really the kind of. So you hoped Fizdale could have coached that guy up, but ultimately,
They are who we thought they were. Now, if you want to crown them, then you crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we got them on the hook.
all three of them. Because
Yes,
we're
you
talking
do.
more about Fizdale when we're talking about them. Because Dennis Smith Jr. has now gotten to such a mental state that I'm putting him in the Marco Fultz category.
Ooh, no. I can't go that far. That's far. Markel? Man.
Reflect.
Man.
Broken jumper. All of a sudden, athletic guard that used to at least be able to finish at the rim can't even do that properly right now. Now, him and Frank do the same exact thing. They beat their man with their first or second dribble, and they get to the front of the paint or the front of the key, and they pause, and they have no clue what the fuck to do with the ball. Now, when Frank was doing it, I was like, okay, Frank is an offensive guy. I could get it. You know, he's looking for more passion of a thing. But when the offensive guy, Dennis Smith Jr., was doing it, I'm like, okay, is it his confidence? Or now is this coaching? This is two guys doing the same thing. It's a pattern. Two guys with the same pattern? Is that coaching?
The only way we can really judge him is what we see RJ doing?
But RJ,
But here's the thing: he's the big domino.
RJ's
He's the
see,
big,
see,
but he's
no, 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 but
even
see,
though he's the rookie, he's the big domino.
See-
Because if he starts doing the same shit that those two are doing,
But-
then we're gonna have problems.
see, the thing about it-
serious problems.
he does do the same thing they do.
See?
Him and Lonzo Trier. But, because you made me reflect. When they beat their man off the dribble, they take that shot. Or they attack the rim. Which Dennis Smith Jr. and Frank isn't doing. They're both pausing there.
Which makes
looking
no
around.
sense.
Like,
Why my son Trier gets no burn.
They beat their man up. Like, because honestly, if they have no defense, so what? Make teams outscore you then.
Right.
Like that isn't that the motto? If you can't DM, owe them.
Straight up. Straight up. It's like, all right, you just scored on me. All right, bet. Give me the rock.
That's what people thought Golden State was doing for years. Was just outscoring people, not realizing
That they was actually playing some type of defense.
and taking a ton of mid-range shots and being one of the leaders in mid-range shots taken with the highest field goal percentage in mid-range with their mid-range shot. But they kind of put this illusion, made everybody take threes, and now everybody's just chucking threes.
Because you had those two dudes who were just bombs away.
How did your coach say? Splash.
Splagak. But
So
no,
that's my crossroad with the Knicks. Is it coaching or is it player? Because sometimes you can't coach up certain things out of players. Frank Ntilikina, I say you probably keep him. Because you know what? I think that he can. I think as a bench player he can turn into a Marcus Smart. He's not vocal enough yet. He's not vocal, period. But from seeing what I saw him do with his national team, he can be a Marcus Smart. He can be the guy that just goes out there and consistently just nags the best player on the team.
on his national team, I saw he had
He had
all the
game.
confidence.
He
Yeah.
got game.
I'm watching him. I'm like,
He got game.
I'm like, damn, son.
Like, he got me over
Where's this in the garden?
You understand? He got so much game. I was over there looking at him like, my nigga. You understand?
He's like, yeah, Frank, word to it, son.
That's how much game that I had to pull 2 Denzel references on you.
Straight up. Straight up. Man, but these Knicks, man, they're fucking depressing. But we need to get to something else right here. With sticking with basketball, because all this talk about load management, this shit here, it's blowing minds. It's blowing minds.
Load management, right? This whole
This is how I feel. If you need rest, I'm not against it.
Mhm.
But what I have the problem with there are 2 instances where I feel like resting, where I'm just like, come on, man, you dead ass. Let's just go
These
by.
predetermined rests,
Let's just go by. It's not just the predetermined rest. It's when, like, who you're going against. Like, let me go, for example. Like, say, okay, the Clippers are playing Houston tonight. Say tonight, right? James Harden decided that he just wanted to rest tonight.
like Kawhi Leonard did a couple
Yeah.
last week against.
Yeah.
Was it
Against
Portland?
no. He rested against Milwaukee coming into town.
Milwaukee, and then
Greek
played against
Freak coming in, but then you played against Portland the next night.
Well, they
Now
said it was
granted,
back-to-back.
I mean, back to back, but they were both home games, both national televised games. My thing is, okay, I mean, if you must rest one of the two, wouldn't you think people would want to see you go against Giannis instead of worrying about you playing against Lillard? Now, granted, people would want to see you go against both. So you know
CJ
what?
McCullough, basically.
My thing is, like, play both games, but then
Manage your minutes.
manage minutes. Rest when you play Sacramento. Rest when you play Memphis. But when they're home. Don't do that shit when you gotta go on the road.
Yes.
The road
You
games,
need to play.
you play.
Because that's what people see.
You
right?
play.
People-
You play.
people like-
You play.
you
Like
understand?
look
Because
at
Sean-
this. Look at it this way.
Because Sean
LeBron goes
Sean
to.
isn't gonna sell out themselves.
oh, no, no,
normally.
all
But
I
when
know
the
is-
Clippers come into town because they want to see Kawhi.
All I know is
Those
little
are the
Sean. All I know is little 10-year-old Sean goes to the fucking Heat game, expecting to see LeBron when he comes to the town with the Lakers, and all of a sudden now you hear LeBron is resting. No.
Facts.
Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm vexed. Hell no, I can't have
That
that.
happened to me with Melo.
You know what I'm saying?
Me and
I
my
can't
boys
have that.
bought
I can't have that shit. I can't have that shit. I'm not the price of these tickets out here for these fucking NBA games. I'll be goddamned if I bust my bread to go fucking watch an away player coming into town, and then all of a sudden, right before the tip, I hear that player's not playing because of rest. No, you want to rest? Here's when you rest. You rest when you have home games against bum teams. If you Kawhi Leonard, you rest at home when you play freaking Charlotte.
So
If you Giannis, you rest when you at home playing against Cleveland.
so
You Luka, even though Luka has no business resting, but just because he popped into my head, you want to rest? You rest when you, like I said, you playing Memphis, you playing the Knicks even,
So
or whatever. Like, no.
you realize that in certain things happen that help that sometimes diminish.
Like, all I'm saying is I'm not trying to turn into TNT Thursday night. Like let me see who's playing Thursday night tomorrow night. Let me pull this shit up real quick. What's the games tomorrow night? Yeah, tomorrow night, Mavericks Knicks. What the fuck? That's only relevant because Porzingis is coming back.
No.
I don't know.
We're going to Dallas.
Huh?
We're going to Dallas.
No, the Dallas coming to the
No,
Knicks.
we just played them in that. We just played them in the Garden, didn't we?
No, we play them in Dallas.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll go with the other game because it's Brooklyn and Denver. All I know is I'm not trying to turn into the Nets and the Nuggets game, and all of a sudden Kyrie's not playing because of rest, or Jokic, the Joker's not playing because of rest.
Oh, because of load management.
Load management. I'm not trying to have that.
Listen.
I'm not trying to have that. Nationally televised game, big game. I'm trying to see you ball.
This load management thing is really weird because you know what? I remember when we talked about LeBron James load management, right? And we've given LeBron James shit for taking off 6 games a year. And Kawhi is taking that up to 20. So you understand, these rings that he's going to start getting are going to start being watered down a little bit if he gets up there to LeBron's level of rings first, and then he gets up to Kobe's level of rings. Because now I can't put him in the category of Kobe because now he's just in the category of Kawhi because that load management that he has, granted, I get it. Listen, not for nothing. He could have the same shit Todd Gurley has.
Right.
Where he could have that tendonitis where, listen, guilty. You could have that tendonitis where you feel really good that day. And what happens is that as that game goes on,
that knee is
you,
shot.
you just feel like that knee fatigue is just shot. Now, a good day's rest may make you feel good to walk around the next day, but when you play the very next day, you feel it doesn't feel as springy. You could use an extra day. You know what I mean? So I can understand looking at any back-to-backs and be like, yeah, I'm not playing that game. I'm not playing that game. I can't do these back-to-backs because you're not gonna. Now, could he probably just come out there because adrenaline's a motherfucker?
Mm-hmm.
Could you come out there and come on, banging ass first quarter and trot up and down the court for 3 other quarters, but give enough defensively because you can.
We don't. All I know is people.
But which is probably what he did in the playoffs.
All I know is 2 things. People not trying to pay and come see half-ass effort. We not trying to see that. But the other thing too.
We're not trying to see nobody either.
That too.
Like, you understand? If I got to see Kawhi Leonard ball for 1 quarter and then to see him just kind of fade off, I'd be like, yo, that first quarter he was banging. Like, yo, like I don't know what the fuck happened to him up 3 quarters, probably that injury, but I got to see him be. Like, granted,
but
and that's probably what he does in the playoffs, and that's probably what he reserves for the playoffs. That, okay, if I'm feeling kind of shitty, like, I'll let the adrenaline take me through this. I don't need, so the load management is weird. Now,
it's just I wonder if they realize they fucking up their own money by doing that.
No, like I said,
they fucking up the money by doing that.
Well, you know what?
You sit down on a nationally televised game. That's viewers.
Oh.
That's viewers that gets taken away. That's ticket sales that goes down. Those ticket sales, that TV money, that is what's used to make your salary.
Like, oh no.
Like you sit down, bro. You take it. It's as if you taking money off of everybody's plate by doing shit like that.
As an owner, if players want to load manage, I'm taking this into consideration during the next collective bargaining agreement. And I'm asking for a bigger chunk back of that pie because these guys aren't giving me Because you know what?
Because you want to sit down
Yeah,
on these
because
nationally
you know what?
televised games and these
Because-
games against big
Because I pay you
players.
to give me 82 games of this, right? And if you're not,
I don't
and if
mind.
And if you're not gonna at least try to give me that, but you're gonna see some players may need it. Kawhi Leonard isn't
Like I
the
said,
first load management
I don't-
guy.
like I said-
LeBron James has load managed.
Like I said, I don't mind if you gotta give me 70 games, or obviously I don't mind if you really get hurt. If you really get hurt, then that's a different story.
Because it's Kawhi.
But
Because
but
it's a great player.
but
Because-
if it's the load management thing, like I would if I'm an owner or
Okay,
a coach.
talking about load management.
Oh,
There goes,
see?
there goes the founder.
Oh, see,
There goes
boom,
the founder.
boom. But if I really want to get
Because
on the,
Tim
but
Duncan
if I
load
really
managed.
want to get on the load management thing, if I'm an owner or a coach, all I'm gonna say is like, guys, if you really got to pull that rest card or whatever, like if you really need it, just pull it. Especially if we're a good team, just pull it when we're at home against an inferior team. If we're the Lakers, pull that. Like the perfect example, the Lakers are about to play Golden State right now. Right now, if I heard that Anthony Davis wanted to sit out tonight due to
Well,
rest,
LeBron James needs to sit out because of a wait.
or
Anthony Davis with
Anthony's the
with
one
the
who has the
bruised
shoulder.
rib.
Anthony's the one who has the shoulder.
Okay.
I don't know about rib thing with Braun. But all I know is I've been hearing about Davis and the shoulder for at least a week now. So all I know is if I heard all of a sudden that Anthony Davis is sitting out tonight due to rest with the shoulder,
That was that 40-20 game, I think, or 50-20 game.
something like that.
Where he went out in the second, where he went out early in the second quarter with the bruised shoulder, and then he came back and went off in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I hear that he needed rest all of a sudden, I'm like, shoot, you at home against a 2-9 Warriors team without Steph, without Clay, and I'm not even sure if Draymond's playing tonight. Oh, feel free. Braun got that.
It's just load management is just weird when you hear it from the Kawhi Leonard. But once again, it's only because you know that it's starting a bigger trend. Once again, if I feel like if Kawhi has that tendonitis in his knee, which I feel like he does, I can understand it. I could wholeheartedly understand it. While you rested Todd Gurley, when he has a whole week to rest, is something different. But that repetitive back-to-back, I can understand it with Kawhi. And as I said before, LeBron James has been a load manager before in his career. This is something he has done. And we got on LeBron James just for taking off 6 games.
Those Cleveland years.
Because he wasn't playing more than 75 games. He only played like 70. You understand? We need to get on him for not playing 80 plus games a year. He's not the only load manager. We're watching San Antonio right now. Greg Popovich basically founded the load management for Tim Duncan. But once again, when he did it for Tim Duncan, it was justified with Tim Duncan's age.
I mean, they still got killed. I remember the game that they were supposed to go to Miami one time, and everybody was talking about it and everything.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's an hour and a half before tip off,
like
and all
Tony
of a sudden we hear
Ginobili.
Tony Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan. They were not only were they not there, were they not playing? They hopped on the plane, sent their asses home back to San Antonio.
So
when I heard that shit, I was like,
that's when it came to light a little bit more because that wasn't the first time Ginobili had been load managed. That wasn't the first time Tony Parker had been load managed. That wasn't the first time Tim Duncan had been load managed. That was the first time
all
three of them had been load managed
on a nationally televised game on TNT Thursday night.
That was basically them saying, I wonder how far I can take this. That was the habitual line stepper saying, I wonder.
You hear shit when shit like that happens. You gotta question if this is like some type of protest or something like that, like a silent protest to the league.
Like, wait, what's going on in San Antonio? Like,
not even just San Antonio, but the whole league.
Like, were they tired of Charles Barkley making fat girl jokes? Like,
I mean, shit. Them churros. Big old women down in San
It does
Antonio.
make you wonder. That's like, but no, if load management is gonna continue, the next collective bargaining agreement is gonna look interesting because these players they're gonna want to pay them less. Because that TV money and everything that's already come in is gonna make players $250 million. $250 million? Yeah. $250 million on this by the time they hit their second contract. You understand? Listen to this. If this TV money keeps going up, because it's gonna have to, all this money keeps going up. But they're already on this pace. By the time we're done, we are bona fide making billionaires.
Yup.
Just off their NBA money. Like we're gonna see players sign to $500 million contracts, $1 billion contracts. Before we are dead, they're gonna sign $1 billion contracts. And I'm gonna be mad because I'll still be trying to break my first meal. Hopefully I would have broke my first meal. Hopefully one of them stocks break. WWE, 2K, one of you motherfuckers need a break. Greg Popovich has been doing this. Listen, one of the greatest load managers of them all has more rings than any of them. You know what we're talking about?
Phil?
Big Shot Bob.
Oh, shit.
The greatest load manager of them all. Because they sat him out all
season. And then all of a sudden, he's in a big playoff game, knocking a game-winning shot on your head.
They didn't sign Robert Horry until the very last day he could qualify to make it into an NBA team and still get a ring. And they will splash him into a couple of games when they were playing bum-ass teams to get him warmed up. And then they'll put him in one or two big moments as the season comes along. And then in the playoffs...
I'm ready.
In the playoffs... He just went into his mode. And that mode was Big Shot Bob mode. And all he did was drop bombs over Baghdad. Bob.
At that moment, you're supposed to drop one of Clue's bombs right there. All of that.
Because he has
all of that.
Greatest load manager.
Man.
So
I don't know how he did it.
I understand why people get the load management. Load management isn't going anywhere. Load management is probably gonna be here. They're gonna keep finding teams too though, and finding these teams is probably where things are gonna go crazy.
Good. Find them.
They just find. Oh no, they.
Good. Find them. Find them all.
The Clippers got fined $50,000 for that.
Good.
Like, once again, what's $50,000?
Good. Ain't shit. But nobody likes losing money. Period.
That's true too.
Nobody. I don't care how much you got.
I can say they're like $50,000. Like he was like, yo, that was supposed to be dinner for the week. Like.
Word. That shit was going somewhere. Going somewhere.
We've talked basketball.
Time to get back to these picks.
And we ain't finished up with week 10 yet. Believe it or not, we ain't finished with week 10 because we barely talked about these Dallas Cowboys going in Minnesota. Where I picked Minnesota and you picked Dallas.
I picked Dallas, really?
You picked Dallas.
I did?
You picked Dallas.
Oh, shit.
Yup.
Must have been because of Kirk, not my cousins.
It was because you ain't looked at him like he wasn't. You looked at him like he wasn't familiar.
I remember exactly.
You looked at him like
I
he
remember
wasn't
exactly.
family, but that man's name is Cousins for a reason.
I remember exactly. I said primetime game, Kirk, not my cousins. Oh, nah, give me Dallas.
There you go. And
that's exactly what happened.
Unfortunately,
it wasn't even his fault. That was Dalvin Cook decided to run the ball, and then this nigga Zeke, for some reason, the new $90 million man, all of a sudden don't know how to run the fucking football.
Shit. Got paid and can't do nothing.
Got paid and can't do a damn
Actually, no,
thing.
he still knows how to eat.
Must be living still in Cabo out there,
he's
fucking Mexico.
He just no longer eating on the field.
This nigga here,
So
20 carries, 47 yards.
That nigga was 28-24. Right? They had nobody that produced.
Prescott balled, Cooper balled, Zeke,
Seattle versus San Francisco.
What a game.
That game.
What a game.
That game.
That game was
lived up to everything it needed to be.
That game was so sloppy, but it had so many different components that it made it so live, bro.
For the first quarter, all the way into the second quarter, until they were about 2 minutes left into the second quarter, it was all San Francisco.
Man.
All San Francisco. 10-0.
Clowney got that fumble and the game changed.
San Francisco is going down the field because they have like 2 minutes left. They're a little bit more than 2 minutes at the top. But 2 minutes left, and they're going down that field. They're thinking, yo, we can get another score.
Yeah.
We can add some points, whether it's 3 or 7, and we can help build some momentum and going into this half. Really try to crush them, going into this half as we try to improve our 8-0 record. And then something happened. The Jimmy couldn't stay up. And next thing you know, Jimmy is down. Balls are loose.
He put the church's money on the ground.
I'm not making any porn references. That's just what's happening on the field. Right? Jimmy is down in the porn and the balls are loose.
His nickname is Porn Star Jimmy.
Is taking one back to the house. Leaving Jimmy there, stuck with a facial like.
But that shit changed the whole game.
And
That shit changed the whole game.
everything that San Francisco was trying to do with that momentum, Seattle ended up getting. But then
You know, but San
San
Francisco had a
Francisco even
chance.
came back, he even tried to come back during that quarter and make another run.
San Francisco had a chance to really like put a nail in Seattle shit too, because when this nigga DK Metcalf was about to score, and then really somebody came up on him and sunned him by ripping the ball straight out of his hands as he was about to score like that. I was actually tight. I was actually tight.
Bro,
I was like, yo, DK, what the hell, son?
Like DK Metcalf may not be the Hulkster, and he may not have little Hulkamaniacs running around eating their vitamins and taking their prayers. But this dude got 26-inch pythons for sure. And the way that he got that ball ripped, I still understand though. How was the guy out of bounds able to put 2 full hands on that ball and nothing be called?
Because at the time he stepped out of bounds, it's not like he had possession of the rock yet.
It's on, but can you understand? If this is basketball, you'd be called out of bounds, and you just go take it back to the offense.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So that
It's
I didn't
definitely
understand that
it's
first.
definitely still weird, but at that point,
But he did get stripped on the 2-yard line.
Sure did.
1-yard line.
Sure did.
Not even.
And if he didn't, it'd have been a touchdown. That's
And-
what makes it even worse. That's what made it even worse. I'm like, oh, cool. He's about to score. Seattle's about to make this shit 14-10 before halftime, and the game is over. Because by that point,
But nah,
San
big
Francisco would have been
defensive
shot.
Play to steal the momentum.
Real
back.
talk. And
At
it's
least
like,
we thought stole the momentum back, and then Russell Wilson shows you
why he's one of the leading
why
candidates for
bad
MVP.
girls like good guys. Because boy was he good. Zuh.
I know Sierra was sitting there like, look at my man. It's
Russell,
that dude
every
there.
day I'm hustling Wilson.
Kid.
Came out 27-24. It wasn't a blowout once they took the lead. This game ended up going into overtime on a field goal kick by San Francisco field goal kicker to help tie that game.
Mm-hmm.
And then put in the very same situation in overtime. He pulls a Finkel is Einhorn.
I have
Einhorn
no-
is
We
Finkel.
still out here searching for that missed field goal. I have
Listen,
no idea
what's
what the hell happened.
I'm surprised I didn't see a meme for that one. You know that meme?
Hell
where-
yeah.
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh shit. Ah.
That
Yo.
Gorilla's theme music or whatever the hell it is.
Hell yeah.
Like when he kicked that sucker and it went flying. That's actually the moment that I actually looked up and realized we had the full moon.
Nah, straight up.
Oh man. So they lost
Like
their game.
it's
based
like,
off
yo,
their
he
kicker.
got signed that week and he also got cut.
Did he get cut?
He should have. The
Oh.
way he missed that shit.
Oh.
The fuck? They're still trying to find
I
that
thought he
goddamn
got- I thought
football.
he got cut. You scared me.
He should have got cut.
That
Couldn't be no coach, man. I'd have had that nigga be like, you
See,
can't
that's
come to
it,
the
I mean,
locker
like,
room,
he
man.
just won one. So he just made it previously. So he just
Yeah, to send it to.
He didn't make it when it mattered
hey,
the
hard knock
most.
life. I've seen that shit happen to kickers too. I've seen the kicker send a game to overtime. I've seen the kicker send a game to overtime, make the field goal to give them the lead. The other team comes back, ties it. Kicker missed the next field goal to win them the game, gets cut.
That's true.
I'm like, damn, that
Yeah.
nigga made a kick in the fourth
Yeah,
quarter
yeah,
to tie the
it is a
game,
hard knock life for
take the
kickers.
lead.
Like,
but misses the next field goal. That nigga's cut. Shit.
those are on ESPN. Okay, you guys switch to a different network for that one. So those are all those games, right? We both win 6 or 7. It was both horrific. If you put money on our picks, sorry.
But I did tell you take the under on the LSU Bama game because that shit was wild. Talking about Bama 6.5.
So
Told you that shit.
let us give you now the section that you like, that you guys like, right? Because everybody likes to hear who really did what and who were the top performers. But as you know, we don't talk about top performers in the last section because we only talk about winners. And all of these players that we're about to talk about now, that were some of these top performers for this week, all of them aren't winners. But you know what? We get it. Football's a hard game, so we'll give you the...
All knows Patrick Mahomes is number 1 on that list. It's not his fault that damn defense is
Patrick
trash.
Mahomes.
One more time, I need that.
Actually, we'll even throw in one more because that's how many touchdowns he had. Patrick Mahomes led them all. 446 yards, 3 touchdowns. Actually, you know what? Now that I actually said it,
one more
Patrick
time.
Mahomes for leading
Big up.
all quarterbacks with 446 yards. Now behind him was the leading quarterback for them boys, right? That was Dak Prescott, folks. 300.
He balled. 397 on that head.
397 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And behind him was Mr. Turnover Chain. I understand he didn't play for that school, but it's just fitting for Mr. Jameis Turnover Chain Winston, folks. 358 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Behind him, folks, was his partner in crime, Kyler I should have played baseball Murray. 324 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. You see, that's how you should look when you're a rookie quarterback that doesn't belong in the league, right? Next up, we had I Have a Love Jones for Mr. Daniel Jones, right? 308 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions against the New York Giants. But you know what? He couldn't
got
come out
sunned.
with the W.
And he got sunned. And so did Barkley on that play. Jamal Adams sunned 2 people on that play. Pushed Barkley the fuck out the way. And then ripped that shit out of Daniel Jones. Said, give me that shit, little nigga. I'm out of here. Touchdown.
Next up, we have only 5 running backs that made it over 100 rushing yards this week.
5?
And guess what? Since we only talk about the top 5 in this section, then they all get to be mentioned. Number 1, folks.
My son McCaffrey.
They picked, listen, while the number 1 quarterback was on one end, well, guess what? The team that gave that team their upset was also
Derrick
number
Henry
1
was
on the
running
other
that
end
shit.
in running back, and that is Derrick Henry.
That boy was running that thing.
188 yards and 2 touchdowns for Tennessee. And behind him, folks,
Derrick was running that
was
shit.
not the semi, was not the soft, but folks, it was the full-blown on Nick Chubb, giving them 116 yards, no touchdowns for the Cleveland Browns. After him, just stay in the same town, folks. Oh, I'm sorry, not the same town. Let's just stay in the same bum-ass state. And we're talking about Ohio, and we're talking about Cincinnati, and we're talking about Joe Mixon with 114 yards. Guess what? He matched his partner in crime. He also had no touchdowns for his team. And behind him, guess what? We're going to take a trip out to LA because every once in a while we're going back to Cali. And guess who we find there? The guy that's no longer holding out for anything. We find Melvin Gordon putting up 108 yards and 1 touchdown. And folks, last on that list, a guy that you've mentioned already once in this show
MVP
as your
McCaffrey.
MVP. Yes. Christian McCaffrey, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm surprised this guy already doesn't have his own religion. For 108 yards and 1 touchdown.
Shit.
After them,
My
folks,
boy out here putting LT numbers out here.
we had 9 wide receivers that put up over 100 yards. But as you know, we only care about the top 5 that goes on here. And those top 5, Tyreek Hill, Kansas City, 157 yards, 1 touchdown. As we already know, Mike Thomas, New Orleans, 152 yards, no touchdowns. Amari Cooper helped them boys for a couple of yards, 147 yards, 1 touchdown. Christian Kirk from Arizona caught all of Kyler I should have played baseball Murray with 3 touchdowns.
3 of them things.
And then we have Darius Slayton from the New York Giants, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That rookie is playing some ball
And
too.
since we're over here, folks, talking about
boom,
let's talk about Colin Kaepernick's workout.
Way.
Since we're over here giving out
we go.
participation awards. The
Here we
NFL
go.
has decided that they are gonna hold a workout on Saturday. You're getting tired. I see you fading. We done here soon.
Shit.
I know the time flies, and I don't be realizing we talking this long.
Hell yeah.
Dude, are we gonna do our picks after this? We're gonna take one quick break after we talk about Kaepernick, and we're gonna do our picks, and we're done. Kaepernick.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him a tryout, or they're gonna give him a tryout.
They're gonna give him one on Saturday.
I don't even know how I feel about this. I feel like it's about time, but
The thing is, you feel like the wave is past.
the backlash is past. They have officially let all of the steam out of his movement and its backlash in the NFL that they can give him a tryout. And whether he takes a knee or not,
I really don't think at this point that
I don't think
anybody
anybody's gonna
cares.
care anymore. And also, he's not even going to be a starting quarterback because I kind of said this when he first went through this whole entire thing. Colin Kaepernick wasn't really showing that he could muster up to keep his job at the time. He was on,
And now
like,
he's
you
going
understand?
on 3
Like,
years.
this controversy cost him his job, but I feel like this controversy saved him his job because I don't feel like Colin Kaepernick would have been a backup quarterback anyway in this league. You understand? Nobody would have put even without the controversy, Colin Kaepernick backup quarterback.
Yep.
Nah, wasn't gonna happen.
And then on top of that, 3 years?
So
3 years since my man's played in the NFL?
Yeah, and you already got two-man shoe over there playing in Carolina. I mean, you got what was that? Jacksonville is two-man shoe. Wait, who
Yeah,
got two-man-
Minshew.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jacksonville
You got
Minshew.
two-man shoe in Jacksonville.
I think
You got some
I think
no-name
Foles
guy-
about to come back and take that
You
shit.
got no-name guys in Carolina. You got who beat your team? I'm sorry, who almost beat your team?
Oh, Mr. Hoyer.
There you go. You got him playing in Indiana. Him.
Fucking Brian Hoyer.
So you see how they've already let this whole entire cycle of quarterbacks already pass.
And then on top of that, if God forbid, but if something happens and somebody finally puts that real hit on Brady, who the hell stepping in on him?
So
Who the hell stepping in for him?
I'm gonna hold off reservation of judges as a positive for Colin Kaepernick, football, his movement, or anything, because I still feel like a lot of time has been wasted, and now you're giving it a time because it's just finally said like, look, we gave him a shot. Now you basically cannot
It's like-
say you didn't give him a shot.
It's like Lil Wayne dropping the quarter 5 after all these years, man. It's like, damn.
But that
You
was
dropped-
fire.
No, you're
Sorry.
right. It was fire. It was fire. It was fire.
Like, I don't know.
But
Kaepernick's
no.
gonna be I know what you mean. Like,
But you know what I mean? Like,
Like,
just
they
be real.
they-
When it was
they-
finally
okay.
when it was finally really about to drop,
I got you.
before
They
like
babied
really
him.
really
That's
dropped,
what they did.
it was
They
just like
babied him.
it's just like
They pulled
really,
him,
my
they-
nigga.
they-
We
they
waited
pulled-
all this time for you to finally drop this shit. You finally drop it. All right, whatever.
But it lived up
But
to
then,
expectation.
but then it was like, but then it happened. And
So,
be like,
what you're trying to say is that they babied him. They babied the situation. They're like, yo, we're
Yeah.
gonna hold out as long as we can. And the only reason we're doing it now is it's really just so the Breakfast Club can stop talking about me.
basically. And
So
it was even more of a joke that it was still taking him long to even get a shot after he even settled with the league and everything back in February. It was still even joke that he wasn't even getting a fair shot then after that. That's when I think after that point, after he still didn't get a shot after that, I think that's when everybody was just like, all right, next thing.
we're moving on. Right? So it's time for everybody to grip up. It's time for week 11 to come up. It's time for us to do our picks.
Hoo-wee. What we got?
Alrighty. So first, let's talk about the teams that are doing their scheduled load management.
Oh, Lord.
Right?
The-
Just so
AKA the Ain't Nobody Care games.
No. These are actually scheduled load management games. These are the teams that are on their bye week. Right, let's just talk about them first. So everybody that's doing their fantasy, all the bettors, basically your fantasy people out there. This is what we want fantasy tip. Just make sure you take all these players out. Green Bay, no Aaron Rodgers, no Devontae Adams, no Jones. Take them all out. New York Giants on a bye week. Seattle on a bye week. Tennessee on a bye week. That's it. Now, let's talk about the picks. All righty. First up, I already know where you're gonna go with this. It's the Thursday night game, and we have the steel curtain going into Doodoo Brown Stadium to take on Cleveland and their pastry chef Baker Mayfield. Who do you got? Okay, so I'm putting you down for Pittsburgh. As I'm also picking Pittsburgh as well.
You know what? I'm gonna be real. Yeah, put me down for Pittsburgh in my heart,
I'm putting you down for Pittsburgh.
but
You know,
in my head, I think the Browns take that game. In my head, I think the Browns take it because here's the thing: it's the Thursday night mantra. It's the Thursday night thing. Road team on the Thursday night. Unless you're really a dynamic team, you really don't come out victorious too many times as the road team on Thursday night football. Just think about it. How many times does the road team really win on Thursday night football? Unless you are that dog and the home team is garbage.
you got me feeling like Godfather, like
You know what I'm
Vinny,
saying?
you're breaking my heart.
And then
over
on
here.
and then on top of that, the fact that we see them like twice, the fact that we see them twice in 3 weeks, it's like, all right, the Thursday night game, they coming off that high off beating Buffalo, so they kind of feeling good about themselves to only play 4 days later, and then we still kind of have to travel to them. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna still be rooting for my guys, but the Thursday night thing and Steelers being that type of team that has to grind out a win. I feel like this could be a game where Cleveland could possibly explode. I hope I'm wrong. In my head, Cleveland wins, but in my motherfucking heart, the Steelers still come out on top. So technically, it's a Steelers pick.
I have way more faith in your team than you do, because I don't even have that logic of doubt that you, as you already say,
MyT.
Coach MyT.
Mike T, man.
I got faith in
my
Coach
guy.
I got coaching faith. I got faith in Coach MyT pulling out
Definitely
the
have
coaching standard.
definitely
to be
have
able
more faith.
to coach his team up better than one of the teams that one of the most penalized teams in the league.
Mike
And now
Tomlin.
you give them a short week where their focus is not there. I see 20 penalties coming for Cleveland in this game. It's gonna look
Mike
disgusting how many
Tomlin up
times they're gonna
here.
be penalized.
Freddie Kitchens down.
Everybody that Cleveland got compared to Mike Tomlin is down there.
Basically.
Everybody. Because if
Basically.
Mike Tomlin was a wide receiver, he'd be better than Odell Beckham. If he was a running back, he'll be better than full blown Chubb.
Sheesh.
If he was a quarterback, he'll be better than Baker Mayfield.
Get him.
If we're comparing to him as a coach, if he was what he is as a coach, as a player, he'll be better than those guys. So I'm taking Pittsburgh as well. Then next up, you're gonna be torn here. Maybe you won't be, but Atlanta, can they catch a waterfall twice? Can they chase that magic? Can they chase that magic rainbow a second time? Can they puff that magic dragon and beat Carolina in Carolina?
No.
Okay.
No. McCaffrey wins that game.
Next up, we got Dallas going into Detroit to take on Detroit, and
Here's the deal with that game. I need to know if Stafford is playing that week. If Stafford's gonna play. If Stafford plays, I'm taking the Lions. If Stafford does not play, Cowboys. So I need that in the disclaimer. If Stafford plays, it's very simple. If Stafford plays, Lions win. Because for some reason, whenever Matt Stafford plays these Cowboys, especially when it's in Detroit, that dude just turns up on them.
this is the gift and the curse of having to do the podcast on Wednesday. Shit changes, and we get victimized because of it.
Word.
Because we gotta
Word.
put our picks
Cause
up now.
didn't we pick didn't we pick Lions last week too? I think I picked the Lions last
I
week.
picked Lions last week.
Yeah,
Listen,
I picked the Lions based off Stafford being there. All of a sudden, Sunday coming around. All of a sudden, this nigga's got broken
One of the
bones in his
weeks I
back.
picked
I'm like, what the fuck?
Dallas to lose. The Saturday before the game, I saw linebacker that mattered coming back, running back that mattered coming back, defensive end that mattered coming back. There's nothing, and I
And
saw
you
like
just
5
like-
picks, and I'm like, oh, all those players are finally coming back. I'm like, oh damn, they're gonna win this game, and sure enough, they did. I knew it was my pick. It happens. You just have to
You know what I'm
hope the
saying?
football gods
You know what I'm saying?
don't shit on you too much, because I'm putting it now here in Detroit in Penn. Because listen, I am actually did I take no? I meant to take Dallas. I am tripping. I'm gonna take Dallas, and I'm taking Dallas wholeheartedly because I don't feel like they're gonna allow themselves to be embarrassed 2 weeks in a
2
row.
weeks in a row.
What happened to Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott?
They tell you
and-
Zeke needs to eat.
Yes, and
Zeke
you
needs to
know,
eat.
Jerry Jones has
Zeke
been in
needs to eat.
has been in the building this last week,
Oh yeah,
and he has made
absolutely.
some suggestive, motivating comments to his team that may suggest you need to tank the fuck up and win, bitch.
Otherwise, you see this contract.
Yeah, especially Dak. That. Listen, like that is looking like he's all in the family. I'm trying to say
Shit,
he looks a lot like Kirk Cousins to me sometimes.
definitely running the household.
So, Toronto and Portland's about to be on in the back.
Oh shit.
So I'm going with Dallas. I'm looking for a redemption game, and Portland is up early, 27.
27,
To
21,
21.
and then Spicy P. Oh,
With
give
the
me that.
block. Oh, the chase down. Still get it. 27-23. Okay, so we're back. Next up, Jacksonville and Indiana.
Oh nah, Brian Hoyer's playing. No, and I think Nick Foles is coming back too. Yeah. Jacksonville for me.
I'm going with Jacksonville as well. With actually, wait a minute. No. I heard that he was practicing. And he's on his way back. But Jacoby Brissett is on his way back, on the way to return this season.
Oh no. I know he's coming back. I just don't think he's coming back this week.
And I don't think so either. And with that said, I'm taking Jacksonville as well. I'm not arguing that one.
Yeah.
Next up, which I know I'm gonna have a couple of homeboys that's gonna be at this game.
Hey.
And listen,
Hot damn.
if this team falls to this team, then we officially know they are in full blown second half of the season mode. And we're talking about Buffalo going into Miami.
Hot damn. Ooh, shit.
I'm picking Buffalo to win.
Ooh,
If Buffalo drops this
shit.
game, Buffalo
I
is
ain't
officially
gonna
never being
lie.
picked again for the rest of the season.
I'm not even gonna hold you. I am tempted. I'm so tempted, man. I don't know what it is, kid. Maybe it's the coach.
Maybe it's the division as well.
The division,
And
and
how
then
they-
maybe it's the coach too. But
Either.
for some reason, I see something in these fucking Dolphins. I don't understand it. I don't
You know,
have no
I
idea
see it too.
why.
It's a silent L, and it's for losers. Actually, the L isn't silent. There's a big old L in there, and you hear it. Dolphins. Sorry.
Oh man, yeah.
I
I
refuse
said-
to pick them.
I said
Listen,
I'll
I'm
take.
not a Dolphin fan, so I don't ever have to heart pick them, and I don't have to apologize to Dolphins fans because for not
Oh
picking their
no,
team.
I'm not
You
apologizing.
press my letter from that bin.
I'm not gonna apologize for picking them or anything like that. I'm just going off. I'm just
Thank
going off what my eyes have seen. I've seen that team like just really go hard for it, and that coach is really starting to lay the foundation for them to be successful. That's why I'm really saying that off a strong finish this season, what they'll have going on in the off season, because that coach comes from the Belichick tree. So I feel like lately, the coaches that come from his tree are actually some good coaches. Especially Patricia over in Detroit. I feel like he's got a good team. They just been screwed over a couple calls this season. Otherwise, they would have 2 more wins on their resume. And then now, obviously, you got Stafford who's hurt. So That's why I really feel like the Dolphins could be on this tip of going to the playoffs next year. But like I said, could be tripping, could be just fool's gold, could be them, could be a bad team just, catching people slipping for a couple weeks. So yeah, I'll go ahead and take Buffalo.
Okay. I was waiting to hear who he was gonna pick still. All that to still pick Buffalo.
I'll go ahead and take Buffalo, but like I said, it would not shock me at all if the Dolphins pull out the third win in a row.
Listen,
Don't do it.
if the Dolphins
Don't do it.
beat Buffalo,
Don't do it, because watch you
I would-
say that, and then the Dolphins actually go out and beat this team.
I would feel so bad for my Buffalo brethren, man. I really would. I don't want anybody to experience the pain that I had to go through of losing to the Dolphins.
I ain't gonna lie, the more the Dolphins keep winning, the more it won't look as bad. The more it won't look as bad,
It
the more the
feels
Dolphins
just-
keep
listen,
winning.
It doesn't help. Listen, the Dolphins could go out there and beat Seattle, and I would still feel this bad because we lost to the motherfucking Dolphins. I don't like sushi. How the hell do you lose to the Dolphins? So let's talk about the game of this is definitely the game of the week. This is 100% the game of the week. Nothing else matters. No other game even needs to be mentioned. This game is going to show us everything that we need to know about these two franchises. And we're talking about the Jets versus Washington. I'm joking.
I'm thinking you about to say
Houston versus Baltimore.
I'm thinking you about to say Patriots Eagles or Houston Baltimore. You said but yeah, this game here, for one, this could be a playoff preview. That's one.
That too.
And two, like these quarterbacks, man. Oh my gosh.
Like you don't want to pick against either one of them.
Oh my gosh, man. They both for the culture. I don't know why. I'm gonna take Houston.
I'm glad you did.
I'm
So
gonna
I can
take
take
Houston.
Baltimore.
I'm gonna take Houston. I feel like Baltimore is riding a little high right now. I feel like a team like Houston could sneak on them and steal one. Just kind of knock them in a little bit.
I'll wholeheartedly say, if Houston were to win this game, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised one bit if Houston won this game.
But
I'm going with Baltimore because
I'm just going
Baltimore
off.
has a lot of heart.
I'm just going off Baltimore's schedule right now. Like, obviously they beat Seattle, then their next game, and their next game was New England after that. Then Cincinnati, that was the preseason game that they had, and then now they have Houston, and from there it's to LA on Monday Night Football to play the Rams.
Play Houston again?
No.
Oh.
No, it's like then they go play the Rams on Monday Night Football after playing Houston, and then after that, come home to play San Francisco. And then go to Buffalo after that. It's like tough stretch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but this is second half Buffalo at that time.
No. But by that time that they've seen Buffalo, they will be worn the hell out.
And then it'll be if they're going to Buffalo, that's in the snow and trying to
like I said, their next few games: Houston, Rams, 49ers, Buffalo.
So this is definitely a W here. This is gonna be the W that they're gonna need before they hit that tough schedule. Or this is gonna be the loss that they take.
I feel like they'll
to help get
lose
them
here.
focused.
Yes, that's what I feel like it is. I feel like this is the loss, and then they run that table
Because
in turn, as well as beating San Francisco.
If
when
I had
San
to think
Francisco
of
comes over,
a few defenses that may be able to get a fingertip on Lamar Jackson, that would be a defense that has to chase around a Patrick Mahomes or Lamar or a Deshaun Watson all day long in practice. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if Houston wins. I'm just not going against Baltimore. Baltimore's offense, Baltimore's defense, Baltimore's coaching. Not saying that Houston doesn't have all of those either.
it's just right
Plus
now.
wide receivers and everything else.
It's
I
just
just
Deshaun Watson right now is becoming like what Russell Wilson is right now, and that is, as long as he's on the field, you got a shot.
that is true.
As long as
So,
he's on the field, you got a shot, and that was the case since he was in college.
facts.
So that's part of the reason why I'm just picking them. I'm just like, you know what, they got two over there, and I feel like Deshaun's gonna be one of those like, hey, he's dynamic, But I can do this shit too now. I feel like this. I feel like Deshaun will come out with that type of attitude on Sunday and really put on a show and
But we're
lead
gonna
the
see
Texans to a win.
Part of the reason why this is great, because this is going to be a show.
Oh yeah,
This is going to be a
absolutely.
show, and you better recognize
Absolutely.
this will be.
This is for the. This game is for the culture right here. This game is definitely for the culture
Like
right here.
this, like I need to be at the bar watching this game.
Hell yeah, this game is for the culture.
Next up, we got Denver going into Minnesota. Well, I'll make this quick and sweet. Listen,
Minnesota.
yeah,
Minnesota.
I'm going with fam.
Who cares about Broncos right now?
Exactly.
But then again, Broncos will
They
give you a
find
good fight.
They
They
find
give
a
you
way to get
they
Patrick
give you
Lindsey to go off every once in a while
Exactly.
and pull out a W.
they give you a good fight. So, and if there's one team who's always liable to pull up any random ass upset, it's these Denver Broncos. So
Yeah.
it
Is
wouldn't.
Joe Flacco playing, or he officially out for the season?
He's out for the season.
Then no.
But
No,
they got the
Minnesota.
rookie.
Minnesota. Next up, the game that I teased you about a little bit earlier, about its greatness and about its significance into the league.
Jets
about,
next.
About who was gonna get the #1 pick in next year's
Jets
draft.
next.
And I'm picking the Jets too.
Jets
They have more
next.
talent.
Jets.
Nothing about
Straight
Washington
Jets.
starting their rookie quarterback.
Yup. Jets.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Moving
Jets.
on. This is one of your who care games. I'll take it.
Definitely. Definitely.
Now, next up we got New Orleans trying to play redemption and going to take.
Oh, they're about to give Tampa work.
Okay.
They're about to give Tampa work after the game that after the egg that they just laid last week at home.
Oh,
yeah, they're on fire. They can't wait to go play some
Oh, yeah,
football
they're
with
gonna
somebody.
reveal
And then
that all that
they go
magic
play
you gotta smoke
and they go
mirrors.
play Mr. Turnover Chain. Oh yeah, they're about to get in that ass on Sunday.
Next up, we got Kyle should have played baseball Murray going on to take on, as we like to bring him out onto the. Oh, I put him away.
Shit.
I put him away. So
You
then
put the
when we
Jimmy
talk
away.
about the quarterback then.
And Jimmy Garoppolo, yeah, 49ers got it. They get back on track after losing last week. Tough one at home. They get back on track. They need to because they got Green Bay coming in next week. So if anything, they need that win because that could very well be 3 L's in a row if they
Next
don't
up,
act right.
I'm picking San Francisco too. I'm not even gonna hesitate there. I barely ever pick Kyler Murray to win any professional game right now because his ass should be playing baseball. So I'm so vexed with his choice. By your second contract, you would have been a quarter of a billionaire. By your second, if you're the athlete that you say you are, by your second contract in baseball, you would have been a quarter of a billionaire. Eli Manning has been playing for 4 decades, and he has totaled a $250 million.
Ah,
I'm just saying, if you're this skilled, go play baseball.
man,
Go Altuve.
I can't. he probably would be very, very good at that shit too. He
You
probably
gonna test the Verdi?
huh?
No, talk about I should have played baseball Murray.
Oh,
He's instead of going to Altuve, right, he's gonna go to test the Verdi route.
Oh shit!
Yeah, look,
I
whatever.
had to bring Testaverde in this shit, man.
He'll win some games. He got 3 victories this year and 1 draw. I forget who he got that draw against. No, that wasn't Chicago.
Lions.
Detroit.
Yeah, Lions.
Detroit. Because that was a Detroit thing to do.
Yup.
Detroit still got that stigma. So next up,
It never fails.
we got Cincinnati and they're winless behind. It probably doesn't even matter who I say, but I figure that Chucky is gonna go
whoever
ahead
they're
and
pl-
split
whoever
the
they're
whole
playing-
entire Y2 banana all over their ass.
Whoever they're playing, win
Oakland.
for them. Win for Oakland. Win for Oakland.
And next up, we got New England going into Philly and taking on those
That's
Eagles.
tough.
Not tough for me.
That's tough. I'm
I'm
gonna
going with
tell
Spygate.
you why.
I'm going with Spygate. I'm going with the Cheetahs.
I'm gonna tell you why.
I'm going with
I
the cheetah
I
chowder.
feel like Philly's on the verge.
Cheetah
You know what?
chowder.
This is gonna be one of my upset picks right here.
Okay.
Going with these Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm going with chili. I'm going with the Cheetah Chowder.
The cheetah chowder.
The Cheetah Chowder. And next up, we got Chicago. Going across the country. Going back to Cali to take on the Rams. I'm going to take LA. Even LA lets me down a lot.
All I
I'm
know
taking
is
LA.
All I know is the Chicago Bears do not have anybody who can guard Cooper Cup. The white boy will go off on Sunday Night Football.
So that's a LA Rams pick.
Yup.
And then last
Poor
game,
Khalil Mack.
he's gonna have a productive game, as they always do with that defense. It just won't lead into a W, which is
Nope.
what you're playing for.
hmm
And then the last game, Kansas City goes into going back again to Cali to play the Chargers now.
Oh, man. No
And-
pull-out Philly Riv.
And you may have faith in this guy to pull out a W, but I've seen his kid count. And I know there's one thing that Philip Rivers does not know how to do more than anything else, and that is pull out.
I'm not picking them.
Okay.
I heard you say you might pick. I'm saying in my head, like, I'm not
So-
picking them, especially
I
after
don't-
what
so I
happened to
don't know
Showtime
who
Mahomes last week.
Wants to hear about it? Yeah, I see a revenge game coming. I
Hell yeah.
see the first ever 750-yard game in NFL.
Shit.
I see Tyreek Hill Blake going up for 400 yards.
Facts. I'm like, who's stopping Tyreek?
Nobody.
Exactly. Showtime Mahomes got it. Their only hope for the Chargers is if that defensive line can play how they played against Green Bay. That's their only hope. Because how they played against Green Bay, I'm like, whoa, Chargers. Where has this been all year? Where was this defense in New England? That's what I was saying when I was watching them take it to Aaron Rodgers like that. So, yeah, that's that one.
We're done here. That's
Oh,
all the
word?
picks.
That's all the picks? Damn, we ran through them shits. Last week, we was on them shits for about an hour.
Listen, we didn't have to go too far in depth because we'll catch these picks on the back end. Listen, there's not a lot of exciting games here, and we didn't have a
There's
lot
really
of
not.
we didn't have a lot of different
It's
games.
really not. But
Because
next week, though,
We
shit.
didn't have a lot of different games. We differed on that Baltimore-Houston game.
Man.
We differed on that New England and Philly game, and for the most part, we were pretty much in sync for everything else.
Let me tell you about these. I can't wait to pick next week's games. Some of these games next week, my gosh. This is crazy.
I mean, I see the Inept Bowl in Miami and Cleveland,
Seattle, Philly, Green Bay, San Francisco,
Dallas, New England,
Dallas, New England. New England's about to tap that ass.
Baltimore and the Rams,
Like, come on.
Oakland and the Jets.
Next week is spicy, kid. I can't wait. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow. That
Yeah,
NFL
that Oakland
Sunday.
and Jets game, that's
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I don't know, man. I think everybody's feeling that giant Chicago game.
so. As it currently stands, and I told you I was gonna give you some time to think about this, right? And I'll even throw. You know what? Before I even ask you about this, I'll throw a couple of NBA questions on here just to throw you for a doozy.
Alright.
There are 4 teams in LA.
Okay. In terms of football and basketball.
No, in basketball right now, 4 teams in LA. I mean in California. Sorry, there are 4 teams in California.
Yup, that is true.
Right? As it currently stands,
Shout out Lakers, Clippers, Warriors, Kings.
as it currently stands, one of those teams are the best in the league, are near the conference, and one of those teams are the worst. So 2 of those teams are in the playoffs, and 2 of those teams aren't. Do you know which 2 teams are currently in the playoffs from LA?
Oh, the Lakers.
I mean, from California,
the Lakers and the Clippers.
and the 2 teams that aren't.
Those Kings and those
So can you
Warriors.
tell me who's the worst team in the West?
The worst team in the West is the Golden State Warriors right now.
That's the turnaround for your ass. As the Lakers are the top team in the West,
Mm.
and then in the East, they almost have the same thing, but they don't have so many teams in one city. But you do have it coming out of one conference. The best team in the East comes out of one conference, and the worst team in the East also comes out that same conference. Can you tell me who those 2 teams are?
Whoa. So You blew minds right now. I know the worst team in the East has to be the Knicks.
There you
Has to be
go.
the Knicks.
So the best team in the East comes out our same division.
Oh, the Celtics. Gotta be the Celtics.
It is the Celtics.
Gotta be the Celtics. Gordon Hayward, please hurry up and come back. We're tired of seeing you hurt,
So now,
man.
so now that I got your mind thinking about the best, and we're gonna close the show here. Who's your top 5 teams in the NFL as we're closing out?
Top 5 teams in the NFL right now.
You don't have to put them in particular order.
Oh man. Oh yeah. No particular order. Okay, that definitely makes this shit easier. So we'll definitely have the Ravens, the Seahawks, the Patriots, the 49ers. And because they won, I gotta put the Packers in there. I gotta hold that loss against the Saints. I gotta hold that loss against them. Have to. It'd be a crime if I had the Saints in there after that type of loss over the Packers. So, for right now, the Packers would probably be that 5th team right there. With the Ravens probably holding down the top spot. Seahawks at 2. Patriots 3. And then 49ers at 4.
New Orleans' last loss did hurt them.
Huge.
Kansas City's last couple of losses has hurt them.
Huge.
Baltimore's last couple of wins, while those teams have taken losses, has helped propel them.
Oh, they're flying
Now,
high.
San Francisco now, this is going to be weird because San Francisco was always, I feel like, that team that, even with their undefeated record, I still felt like they were behind
just
the
wanted
New
them
Englands,
to prove it. Just wanted
the
them to prove it.
Seattles,
Oh, yeah.
and
Definitely.
the Green Bays of the world.
I don't know about behind Green Bay. I can't do that because that defense is definitely for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That defense is definitely for sure.
But does
And
Green Bay got,
if
but does
and
Green Bay have
one thing
defense
for
this year?
and one thing for sure, we gonna find out next week because Green Bay takes a nice little visit to San Francisco on Sunday Night Football.
Oh, yes, that's
That
Next week.
I tell you, man, those games next week are gonna be something crazy.
But we may be pretty much in tune about this again, because I have to kind of trust what New England's doing still for right now,
Of course.
right? Because even though this is the part of their season where it starts to get hard, we're now at a good halfway point.
Mhm.
Most people had their bye week for the most part.
Yeah, the
right?
only reason why New England's like lower than Seattle and Baltimore, obviously, because Baltimore tapped that ass, and then Seattle, they just went into an undefeated team's home and took them out.
So basically, Seattle just did to New England, or Baltimore. I mean, Seattle did to San Francisco, Bill Belichick product,
Mm-hmm.
to what Baltimore had did to New England, Bill Belichick himself directly, which kind of helped both of them get propelled over both of those undefeated teams.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we get Seattle, because I got Seattle for right now, still ahead of a lot of those teams, but New England still stays in there.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle is in there. San Fran now gets. I'm sorry, I think they're my bubble team. With that one loss, ironically, they're my bubble team because I still now see. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't project what will happen in the playoffs. And once again, we're talking about up to right now.
Right now.
Up to right
don't
now.
worry about playoffs. Stick
to
to
right
what
now,
you've seen
New
up
Eng-
to this point.
Up to right now, not take anything away from what New England has done.
Because trust
right?
me, I think San Francisco's gonna have some trouble in the
has lit
playoffs.
everything has lit everything up. Kansas City has completely showed us that they can't hang for right now. So and we'll see if anything improves with them.
Mm-hmm.
Then San Francisco still after taking that loss to the truth, but Seattle still a little bit more truth than them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be honest with you,
Saints, Packers, Vikings,
nope.
Houston.
Now, I'm putting Houston over Green Bay this week.
Mm-hmm. Just off this week.
Houston's
Nothing
gonna
wrong
play
with it.
Baltimore this week coming
Like I
up.
said, if Houston takes that, then definitely when we run this shit back, Houston will definitely be in my top 5.
So this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about now because Green Bay is gonna be on a bye week.
Oh yeah, they're on
So
a
Green
bye.
Bay's not gonna be
They're
able to
chilling.
compete. So Green Bay gets to sit there and they be like, "Hey,
They're
see what
chilling.
the fuck happened? we
They're
can move
chilling.
up a spot. We can move down a spot.
They get an extra week of game film on San Francisco, which is not good for San Francisco because an extra week for Aaron Rodgers to prepare for you is not good.
So I'm gonna put Houston in there for right now, just because I want to give them that honorable mention. They should be talked about when we talk about. We just talked about what they do for the culture and how that game next week is going to be a good game. Well, listen, it's a little bit more than that. They're the best team in their conference. I mean, in their division. They're going to win their division, which means they're going to make it into the playoffs.
Definitely. And if there's one thing for sure, I think with the team they have, it'd be a disappointment if they don't at least don't get to the second round. If they at least don't make it to the divisional round.
Well, you know for a fact that when you play Houston, they can beat you. Any team.
Oh yeah.
You feel like they can beat you. So this game against Baltimore, even I'm picking Baltimore.
Brady goes to them.
I'm picking Baltimore to win.
Brady goes to them in a few weeks too.
Exactly.
Depending on how Houston keeps looking up to that point, I might take Houston in the upset.
I might be right there with you because I hate New England. So and you hear I'm going. So I'm putting him in there right now because Aaron Rodgers can always come back. And we know much about, but Deshaun Watson, what he's doing right now with this team, deserves to be in the top 5. A little bit ahead of Green Bay, even though,
I'm just giving Green Bay some love based off what they did last week, bouncing back off that tough loss against the Chargers. A game like that could easily bitch slap you into like a couple losses in a row, but they came back home, they did their thing. They were definitely playing a nice balanced attack because it wasn't one of those Aaron Rodgers go out there and throw for 300, 350, get 4 touchdowns, all of this. He completed 17 passes for 233, no touchdowns. If you had Aaron Rodgers in your fantasy team, you are not happy about that. But when they really needed it, that Aaron Jones, man, I'm telling you, he's made a huge difference for that team. There have been games that he has single-handedly won with his running and catching the ball out the backfield. Like, obviously, this past game, yeah.
I don't even know I'm watching this game. To be honest with
Yeah.
you. There's nothing to learn from this game.
Nothing. But yeah, Aaron Jones.
We're talking about LA Lakers versus Golden State. There's nothing to learn from that game.
Nothing.
I'm 100% don't believe Steve Kerr is a coach. Like, take it for you guys want it. But we ain't going to talk about coaches not doing what they should do when they don't have their best players. Because we don't have enough time left in the podcast.
And the last time we did, T almost flipped this whole set over.
Well, you did that. You heard me steaming over here while that was happening, as you just kept on talking and like you hit that nerve, and I was steaming.
But this shit is, to be real, I really thought that all that you were literally doing was just holding in the hit that you just took. I didn't know that you was really steaming over there. So I was just talking, and then all of a sudden you just started going. I was like, oh shit, he's about to go in on the gauge.
I can't stand up. Fucking Judge Doom. But that's the podcast, folks. We're done here. We're gonna let you go about your night. We always appreciate the love and appreciate you listening to many platforms that you have listened to the podcast. All the live listeners that listen directly on the website, mytsports.net. That started a little bit late today.
Shit, we'd hope you appreciated it. We gave you extra time because we started late.
I know we didn't start at 8:07. We started at 8:17, but that's what all this extra time is for.
Hey, man, we're black and Caribbean. Come on, we on that Caribbean time too, son.
Listen, and Caribbean time says I need to at least roll 2 J's before I start anything.
And I needed to pour up.
So, I didn't end the show properly last week due to time restraints, and I missed something very key, and I heard about it, and I'll make sure I don't miss it today, right? So, RJ, say goodbye to the people first.
Who's RJ?
Sorry, KJ. I'm tripping. I'm thinking Knicks.
Knicks.
I'm thinking Knicks.
Damn it, Knicks. It must have ran a flash highlight of something with the Knicks right there.
We just talked about the whole coaching thing, and I'm over here like.
Hey, man. Listen, peoples. I'll tell you one thing. They piss us off, but don't get it twisted, baby. It's Knicks tape all day.
Oh, it's Knicks tape all day.
Knicks tape all day. Fuck out of here. Fuck all y'all teams. Just don't talk about ours, kids. Only we can talk about how sorry our team is.
And next week, I'm gonna have another guest on the show. We're gonna talk some Knicks. We're gonna have a Knicks grievance session. I'm gonna have some Knicks therapy. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
what a Knicks intervention.
Yeah, that'd be lit.
I wish I could get
That'd be lit.
I wish I could get the fourth person on here, but then shit will just get out of hand. Like he has no rationality whatsoever. He's the paparazzi.
Oh
Like,
Lord, he's that Knicks fan.
So
Mercy.
we will get nothing accomplished. So again, you know everywhere that you can find the podcast directly on mytsports.net, or if you're listening to the re-air, that's on Spotify, that's on TuneIn, that's on iTunes, it's on Google Play, it's on SoundCloud. Not SoundCloud.
Should be on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud was one of the original ones. I don't have it on SoundCloud anymore. But
Shit.
we
Shout
have
out to SoundCloud.
Anywhere, Podbean, Mixer, Castbox.
Yo, give me a big up for SoundCloud real quick.
Listen, I started off on SoundCloud. SoundCloud was the OG.
Boom.
The SoundCloud. But you know how I like to end the show. Always remember, let the foundation of the optimism of tomorrow be your foundation for today. This is the Mighty Sports Podcast, and I'm out of here. It's the Brooklyn Buzzsaw.
Free bars for your bitch ass.
Sorry, boys. All the stitches in the world can't sew me together again.
Portland gets an easy one on a fast break. Toronto did. Go up 53-51. Is that Hollis Jefferson? Yep.
But a lot later than a whole gang of people thought. Last call for drinks.
Did
Bars
Paul
closed
George
down.
return this game?
Sun's out. Where we go?
Oh, I'm watching Portland, Toronto. Never mind. I'm not watching Clippers.
Don't wanna go far. Rough night. Tired, baby. Tired.
MyT Sports.